Damn. All right, we are live everywhere. It's pulling up. Got the music playing.
Thing. Someone just rang my doorbell. I was like, hey, I can't talk right now.
Oh.
Yeah.
Refresh the cache on Mograph.com. Stand by.
I'm gonna run and grab a Coke real quick. Take one.
Switch accounts. If I hit song number 2 when we're waiting for the stream, you know that I'm taking too long. So, on that note, I'm going to go ahead and bring us up live. So here's our pretty faces. On that.
Is the music still on?
Yeah, it's still on. All right. What's up, you guys? You ready to do a show?
What's that?
It's gonna be a fun
Yeah.
show.
Girls.
It's gonna be a fun. It's gonna be a short show. I was talking to the two of you. You are not girls.
Oh.
Thank you very much.
I'm sorry. I thought you were talking to the audience.
No.
What's up, Phil?
Bill.
Oh snap! People up in here.
All right. Hold
Reload
Let's
this.
see this
Let me-
live dashboard.
Yeah, do the two. It's the tiny
Oh,
one
yeah,
because the
everybody's
big
up in
one
here.
makes me sick in the tum-tums.
Who we got? Yo yo, hey hey.
Hi, hi, hi.
Ray, Jason, Claudio, Gav, Mark, Evan.
All the people.
How are you doing?
Why isn't the chat working for me?
Works for me.
What are you on? The
YouTube.
The YouTubes? Well,
Yeah.
That's weird. What is it doing?
Oh, maybe it's top chat. There we go. Okay, I need live chat maybe?
Oh,
Let's
you
see.
do need live chat. Yes.
Oh, is there a difference?
Yeah.
Oh, weird, because I always do top chat.
Yeah. Kent, Sage, what's up, everybody?
Sage.
All right. I think we're ready to do a show.
Are we?
I think so. Let's start recording, shall we?
Yep.
All right.
I'm rolling.
I'll turn off my metronome, sorry.
Oh, thanks.
No, I love that metronome sound. It's so soothing.
You
Yeah, it
have
keeps
to
me,
talk like this the whole
The
show.
whole time.
That's it. Yeah. All right. You saw where I was going with that.
Yeah. All right, everything's rolling, everything's good. I got my notes ready to go. We're streaming it on the platforms. Oh, let me just
wait.
turn that off for you. I usually have that
Well,
channel.
why'd you turn it
muted.
off for us?
I love that
I want
song.
to hear it. Yeah.
Yeah.
It's a great song.
Gets me amped up.
Man,
And it gets me pumped.
different clips play that are just sitting there in that muted track during recording.
Now it's all quiet.
That is done.
Am I gonna have to do this? All right.
Do it. Just take over for Dave. Just say the whole spiel.
Hello, everyone. I'm
Camp
Dave
Mograph
Goss.
is a
Camp Mograph is a
supplement
to
to
our
the motion design podcast. Mograph, campmograph.com.
Camp Mograph.
Today's, yeah, I don't know. Just word salad.
You're so silly.
Still silly.
All right, I am rolling. Let's do the clap and let's get this thing going. That's what she said. 1, 2, 3.
I would like to apologize to everyone. My child is here homesick today. So if for some reason he comes wandering into the screen saying,
Oh.
I need some macaroni and cheese.
It scared the crap out of you. It was really
It
funny.
did. Well, because I had the headphones on, you know, not expecting. Then all of a sudden someone starts touching me right here. And I was like,
Did I do a good beeple?
oh,
Yeah.
this is going to be such a good show.
Oh man.
Oh, that's funny. Yeah, Phil says after the clap, half the Mograph industry disappears.
Yeah.
Yep.
I love how after maybe everyone starts doing Beeple impressions, like just that last night at Whiskey Down,
Mhm.
literally everyone was talking like Beeple.
Oh, you should save it
my
for the
God.
show. You should save it for the
Yeah.
show because that'll be gold.
Yeah, let's just start. Just start.
No,
yeah.
I didn't know we weren't doing the show
Oh,
already.
Yeah. Well, we did the clap, but
Yeah.
all right, yeah,
Outtakes show.
right. Oh man, I have so many good ones now. I can't wait for the outtakes.
I'm also going to apologize for my dog and cat. I'm
Oh.
pretty sure the dog's attacking the cat right
Yeah,
now.
I would like to say that I enjoy watching the dog and the cat play on that couch like half the day. Sometimes I tell Matt to move.
My cat has lost weight ever since we got the dog.
Oh, that's
because like they've been fighting and playing and stuff like that. And he used to be a big old fatty. Now he's just a medium fatty.
funny. That's really
It's
funny.
adorable.
I don't know about
Alright.
adorable.
Well, it's adorable that they play together and, you know.
I don't know if he
Like-
really likes it though.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
The dog
He's
loves
actually
it. Don't
lost
get me
weight from
wrong.
just constant stress.
Yeah,
Yeah.
exactly. Right.
French monkey up in here.
What
All right.
up?
Here we go. Ready?
Hey, French monkey.
Let's do this.
Here goes the thing. What up and welcome to another Mograph Mocast. I'm Dave.
And I'm Matt, and joining us today is my brother from another mother, Mr.
David.
Octane Jesus himself.
Yep,
Octane
I'm here.
Sampson.
I'm back.
Guess he's back.
Yes,
Back
I'm back.
again.
And Mograph is a supplement to our site, mograph.com, which is a motion graphics tutorial site with tutorials, plugins, podcasts, and other Mograph stuff. And on the show, we talk about everything ranging from motion graphics to Cinema 4D, After Effects plugins, render engines, doing business, doing taxes, holding dogs, being a contractor, or working for the man. And you can email
that
us
right in there.
info@mograph.com. Let us know what you think about the show. Comments, queries, questions, concerns, grievances. We like it all.
Look how big she's gotten.
Your dog
you're-
is
she's
freaking
so much bigger.
gigantic now. I never got to see
Dang.
your dog little.
No, I
Right?
haven't seen her since she was a wee little dog.
Right? I miss it.
You don't have any
Miss it.
static electricity problems now holding
I
your
sure
dog
hope
on the
not.
show? You're still recording, right?
It's still recording, yes.
Okay, good. I guess you got
It was the cat mostly that caused that.
Yeah, well, it was the grounding
Why does that
mostly
make
in your
any
old
sense,
house.
though?
Yeah,
Oh.
got
I don't know.
grounding.
Yeah, the old house was just crap when it came to all the stuff.
So one little static shock would like screw everything up.
Yep. It's
So,
great. You
we
like my
got,
Donald Trump hair today?
Yeah, your
Great.
hair is
Gosh.
super sexy, dude.
yeah, so is mine. I spent all
So
morning
well
on it.
coiffed.
The
I'm thinking about growing it out. What do you think?
Oh, you could be the new Octane Jesus.
you,
No,
maybe
no.
maybe that's
Nope.
where power
Redshift
comes
Satan.
from.
Maybe.
Redshift Satan. Oh,
Yeah.
man. All right, so we got a short we got a short show for you today, as we always say. And
Mhm.
I don't know, we're both like lacking on links today.
Me too.
I think.
I
Yeah.
feel like nothing interesting has been happening in my life lately. I've just been watching lots of TV and chilling out. I feel like I've been having to recover for weeks from NAB.
Dude,
I think a lot of people are like that.
It it took me about a week and a half to fully recover my sleep schedule and everything.
Yeah.
You know, because at NAB it may only be 2 hours off from where we are. You know, and it's the same. It's normal time for you.
Right.
You know,
so I'm lucky.
You change your schedule so much because you're getting up early and staying out way later.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, it's not just the time change; it's the fact that you're up later.
It's the energy output and breathing constant cigarette smoke too.
Yeah, and constantly having to be on. You know.
Yeah.
Like, we just did so many Beeple impressions, we were worn out.
I know, we just wore ourselves out. Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, the one nice break this year, I think, was that I actually sat and watched like almost all the presentations, which I've never done before.
That's
but
awesome.
It was super chill, and I felt like I actually learned and got to like relax from all of the socializing. Like, I feel like it gets like so intense after a while.
Last year, weren't you like super sick and just like?
No, I don't think so.
I'm pretty sure you spent half the time in the hotel room just sleeping.
Maybe.
One year it was like that.
Probably.
I think you got sick.
Yeah, I don't know.
Yeah.
But
I feel like I only ever got sick afterwards, like never during.
Okay.
This is the first time I didn't get sick during or after. Pretty proud of myself. So
that's awesome. Yeah, I didn't either. I mean, but I don't know what that whole like sleeping for a week straight or week and a half straight afterwards is, though.
Yeah. I'm
moving back up on my NAB post NAB weight. I brought myself down to my NAB weight.
You just have to look pretty every
year.
Gotta make a good impression.
You gotta start thinking about that Seagraph though, because it's gonna come early. This year.
True.
So you gotta. Yeah, that's what I gotta do. I'm trying to lose like 20 by then. See if we can do that.
Yeah,
I'm really gonna hit
need
that intermittent fasting. So.
Yeah.
Well, we've gone like straight vegan, which is mostly an attempt to lose weight and be healthier.
You know what? I will say, I was looking at pictures at NAB, Chelsea's first NAB, you know, when we were at Benihana, all of us, you know, and you two both have lost weight. Y'all look great.
Thanks, man.
He also has a cute
I've got a lot further to go, but thank you.
What else?
So the Beeple impressions, I think, like you said before the show, have been rampant, like just to the extreme at this point.
I was talking to at karaoke, I was talking to Lorcan O'Shanahan, and I was talking to Beeple, and I said, it's the weirdest thing that Lorcan sounds more American than Beeple does. He's got more of an American accent.
That is really funny.
Even though he's from Ireland.
Right.
Oh man. That was so much fun. Still on that high from NAB. But,
I feel like we all didn't get to hang out as much as we usually do.
Yeah, that's the thing. Like, and I was talking to Sage about this. Is like you have a whole lot less one-on-one time, you know, with so many people. I don't know.
Yeah, and I feel like I had a new like group of people. Like I invited like at least 6 people personally to NAB, so I kind of felt like responsible for showing them the rope.
Right.
So and I wasn't part of the Maxon crowd technically because I wasn't presenting. So we would like kind of schedule our own dinners and stuff, but that meant we weren't with you guys as much, which was sad.
Right.
Yeah.
Yeah, I know. We didn't get to have the good catch-up time. I don't even think we barely even drank anything together. Like we should have at least had a shot or something or a beer.
Toads.
You know,
but we're beers with EJ at Wolfgang Puck, but
Oh, that's right. Yeah, we did.
Yeah, we did.
Yeah. Well, we're gonna have a lot more time next month. We're all gonna be at Colorado.
Denver.
Yeah, Colorado.
We're gonna recreate our karaoke madness.
Oh man,
are we doing that?
Are we?
Yeah, I think so. That EJ wants to. Yeah.
After the meetup, right?
Right. Okay. I don't even know why I'm going to this meetup because I don't think I'm presenting anything. I'm just like EJ's just flying me.
We're presenting anything.
Yeah, he's just like, let's just fly our friends in so we can all hang out. I'm like, that's awesome.
Why do you think we do DFW C4D?
Right.
Exactly. Same thing. Yeah, it'll be fun. We'll go over some of the stuff we've been doing. We'll probably talk about Camp Mograph and all that stuff. Billy says podcast next year instead of the media motion ball. Totally agree.
Absolutely.
Yes, absolutely.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
We're actually
like I don't know how they're going to run everything next year, because next year, in case everyone doesn't know, it starts on a Sunday. So it's Sunday, Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday.
Yeah, it's going to be confusing.
There's
We're
got to
so
be
used to
general
this like
consensus.
tradition.
I know it's kind of sucky because you don't know. Like there needs to be like the motion graphics standard, whether it's gonna be. It's kind of like daylight savings time, for
Right.
for
What do you
NAB.
mean?
It's like, is it gonna? What's the standard gonna be? Is it gonna be
Right.
everything is pushed a day before, or everything is the
Yeah.
same day? Because if
That's
everyone
why
is
I
not on the
hate
same
daylight
page,
savings time.
yeah,
They should
Right.
just get rid of it.
right.
Yeah,
So
I
I don't
agree.
know. I hope there's a standard of like what's going on what day, so we can all be on the same page and not have conflicts coming up between different events that we want to do with different people and things like
Well,
that.
we'll just figure out what day the medium ocean ball is, and then we'll go do our own thing then.
right.
Yep. Sounds like
So
a plan.
I mean, I would see them keeping the same everything, because it really is Sunday, Monday, Tuesday, not even Wednesday. Wednesdays there's no specific parties, are there? Unless that's
I don't
Mo-Kart
know.
Day. Is that Mo-Kart Day?
Mo-Kart Day. I still have
Yeah.
never been to Mo-Kart.
Me
which
neither.
I feel bad about,
No.
but yeah.
But then there's Thursday. Thursday's nothing's ever going on, you know? So I mean, they could really keep it the same days. It's not like anyone needs to be at the
Well, we have
the
our own
thing
traditions
7 or whatever.
but like
Yeah.
not everybody does all of those things. So
Right.
we'll
Yeah.
have to figure it out.
I mean, karaoke will automatically be after the
Yeah,
first-
that was the
man.
best part of. I mean, like that whole day.
Thanks.
Like, yeah, that was amazing.
It was a lot of fun. Yeah.
Yeah, tell that to the Amex. But
I know, right?
Yeah.
Oh my
Whew,
gosh.
man, NAB.
Yeah.
But
Yeah.
you can, yeah, if you're in
I
the
got a lot
Colorado
of points
area,
off of
come
that
see
one. I'll
us.
tell you what.
Yeah.
Totally.
If you're in the Colorado area, come see us at EJ's meetups. I know probably if you're in the area, you probably go to them already. But if you're just
Yep.
now hearing them, you should check it out. And so this week we have lots of in-game spoilers. No, I'm just kidding.
No.
I'm just kidding. No, we don't. I haven't seen it.
You wrote that down, didn't you? You're like, oh, I'm going to say that. That's in your notes, isn't it?
No, it's actually I sent you my notes.
Okay.
It wasn't one.
I
of
know,
my-
but
I
you
only
always have
had-
your own personal
no,
notes that
I
you
only
don't
had
tell
one
me where you got
secret note
jokes
this.
written in
I
there.
only had one secret note this week,
Okay.
and that won't be till later. I think you'll know what it is. But
All right.
Yeah, we saw Infinity, or no, not Infinity War, Endgame and Shazam recently. Both are really good.
Yeah. How'd you like Shazam?
Shazam's super fun.
Yeah? Okay.
wait, what's
just
Shazam?
really entertaining. It's like this.
Shazam? You haven't
uh,
seen the preview for it? Oh, it looks
It's a
awesome.
superhero. It's this kid that is in an adult body as a superhero. So it's like just hilarious off
It's
right
kind of
off
like
the bat.
Big. Only
It's kind of like Big, but
if he was a
superhero.
Isn't Shazam? I thought Shazam was the Sinbad movie that
No, that-
everybody thought happened, but it didn't actually ever happen.
No.
No.
You're thinking of Kazam with Shaq.
Yeah, but that was a real movie, right?
No.
That
Yes,
wasn't?
that was a real movie. Yes.
Yeah, but there was one everybody thought Sinbad did. It was one of those Mandela effect things.
Yeah.
No? No one? Okay.
Yes.
So,
Sorry.
let's talk about Camp Mograph updates real quick
Talk about
before
it.
we get into the meat of the show. And
Talk about it.
so, first of all, I wanted to talk about cabins.
Yep.
If you are still having trouble finding cabin buddies, make sure
Yep.
you get on our Slack. I know in the events channel, we've had 4 or 5 people talking about it in there. It's like, well, there's your sign. The 4 of you are looking for cabin buddies. Y'all should meet up. So that's a really good place to do that. If anybody is looking for other strays, so to speak,
Strays.
who want to pair up and get themselves a cabin, let us know.
Found
And
a stray.
so we've got some other really cool stuff to talk about today, including some new instructors that we added
Yep.
just today, just this morning. It's on the site now. If you want to check it out, I'll go ahead and
I
bring
want
this
to
up.
check
So
it out.
just added, check this out, yo.
Just added.
Whoa.
Just added Caitlin Kaju. She's going to be teaching our design principles class,
Nice.
workshop, sorry. And then Casey Hupke, we talked about last week. He's going to be doing our health and mental fitness.
Mhm.
So it's a really freaking good lineup.
That's
Like
awesome.
these was basically my dream team. Like if I had to start an NAB or not an NAB, an NBA like motion design dream team to play at the Olympics, or a
The
Mighty
basketball design
Ducks-
team.
a Mighty Ducks to face off against Iceland, in D2, or the Hawks if you want to
What
go
is
D1.
going on right
Like,
now? What is
We're going deep.
this would be the team that I chose. This would be my Mighty Ducks. We would all be together and just quack, quack, quack.
All right. I have no idea what's going on right now.
I've watched a
I'm
lot
sold,
of Mighty
Matt.
Ducks.
I'm
lately.
sold. You said Mighty Ducks, and I'm like, I'm going.
That's funny. Now, here's the thing.
So,
There's lots of people going already or teaching that are really big into D&D. And
Yes.
so it sounds like the underground rumblings is there's going to be some sort of massive D&D thing going on.
yeah.
Wow.
And I know nothing about it, but a couple people, like Satine is like super into D&D.
Yeah.
And Caitlin is too, right? We talked about D&D, I think, on the show a little
think
bit.
So, yeah.
And then I don't know who else is. I know that Billy's into it, right?
I've never played D&D.
Neither have I.
You haven't?
No.
I haven't either.
I mean,
know.
can we do like a noob D&D group for people that have just never
That'd
Yeah,
be
played
totally.
before? Except with maybe
I've-
one person that's the,
The
what's the
DM.
leader? The DM.
See, I know
dungeon
enough of the
master.
terminology, but
Yeah.
that's all I know.
Cyrus plays a lot of. He's got a club at school where they all get together and play Le Dungeons and Dragons.
Le Dungeons and Dragons. Billy
Yeah,
says that Caitlin is part of his online group for D&D.
There you go.
So,
Cool.
yeah.
Dude, it's going to be awesome.
Oh, that's going to be fun. I think there's going to be
I was
lots of like
talking
80s
to Hupkey
nostalgia.
about doing a Magic the Gathering like group, while we're there.
Oh, that's right.
I
That's
think that
another
would be
one.
cool.
See, I was a Pokemon trading cards kind of guy.
You know what? But if you like the Pokemon game,
Yeah, I know, it's similar.
you would like Magic the Gathering.
Yeah.
Now, did you play the game,
yes,
or did you
I
just
got
collect
very
them?
into it, and like I went to those like
Okay.
weird what were the like Pokemon
Competitions?
trading card leagues, not
Yeah.
competitions, but like everybody just wanted to trade, and there were just a few people that would actually want to battle that I would
Yeah.
try and destroy.
See, when I was a little too old for the game. My younger
Yeah,
brother
me
was
too.
playing it, and he just liked collecting them. Like those
Yeah.
that was me in X-Men cards. when
I would
Or, like,
I would
Pogs.
sit and like
Pogs.
just build Pogs. I would build decks for like hours on end, just meticulously.
See, you would
Yeah.
like
Yeah.
Magic the Gathering.
Probably.
Yeah.
I don't have time for any of this stuff though. Like I don't even have time to play normal video games.
Oh, yeah, but today's show's topics is all
Okay,
about
you're right. I do
TV
have time
shows.
to completely
Right.
veg out and watch TV. So passive entertainment. Yeah.
That's funny. Yeah.
Yeah.
So,
There we go. See, Billy, he'll run a session of an RPG game for y'all.
Sweet. That sounds amazing.
Oh yeah, nice.
And Pickle Nick's got a few. He's got a few like roll. So he did the Kickstarter for, what was it? Mothership. He was saying that he could run some Mothership stuff. That
What
was
is-
pretty fun.
What is Mothership? What?
Mothership's the game. It's the role playing game that he did the Kickstarter for.
Oh, the one we were. Oh, that's right.
Yeah.
Yeah. All right.
So-
So we should just basically bring all of our physical card and board games.
Yeah. I'll bring my
How
dad.
do you feel? Is this camp like no electronics basically? So like don't bring our Switch
Here's
kind
the
of
thing.
thing?
well,
If-
we're not
if
saying
you
not
want-
to bring anything.
If you want, you can. Like, the option is there. There's electricity.
I'm
There's
just trying to go with
Wi-Fi,
like
I
the vibe
think,
is what I'm saying. Like
in like one specific area.
Well,
Is
just-
there Wi-Fi?
Yeah. There's Wi-Fi in certain places.
if the vibe is like unplug from any kind of electronics, then that makes sense to me. Like it's
I mean-
like a good hard reset button is like the
Well,
nature
decide
of this
for yourself.
camp, right?
It's like, if it's the end of the night and everybody's just chilling in the bunk and you're gonna play some Switch, or someone wants to have like a Switch competition in the cafeteria
Yeah.
Right.
at 6:00.
Yeah.
That's one thing. But we're just saying we're not gonna sit in front of our screens the entire time. We're not
Totally.
gonna learn workshops on screens. That's really the
Yeah.
rule.
Yeah.
That makes sense.
I mean, it's not like we're gonna be like the computer Nazis or something and come through
Yeah.
and take everybody's stuff.
Oh, he brought his computer.
Right.
Let's leave now.
I have like
Yeah.
an electromagnetic field finder, and we're just going
I feel
around
like-
trying to.
Yeah, what's that episode of Parks and Rec where they go like glamping? Or no, maybe I'm thinking of the one
Yeah,
where
no.
Tom.
Yeah.
That's
Tom,
one, but I'm thinking of one where Tom needs to like.
And he brings
like,
DJ Roomba, right?
No. I'm
Oh,
thinking
that's
of
different.
Ron Swanson like isolates him from technology because he's so addicted to his phone, and so he's
Oh.
like, yeah, I feel like
Yeah.
that's what.
He
maybe
brings
I-
him out to his cabin or something like
Maybe
that.
I
right?
need that. Like maybe I
Oh, yeah.
should just go like it's like a cleanse.
Yeah.
If
Yeah,
you're on the
totally.
fence about the Switch, I would say just pack it just in case.
Yeah.
All right.
Yeah.
Yeah.
There you go. See, Phil says the campfire is everyone's phones and laptops.
Yeah, there
That's
you
Dude,
go.
I will tell you, like, okay, so back when I was poor and younger, I was renting a house with a bunch of my friends, and I was stupid and forgot to pay the electricity bill multiple times. And the best thing about it was when all the power would be out, we wouldn't have Wi-Fi, we wouldn't have anything, and we just set a fire in the fireplace and we would just chill and talk for like hours. Like that was the best. And I promise, like, there are like 4 or 5 different spots for campfires at Camp Mograph, and it's gonna be awesome.
Yeah.
That sounds rad. So
Yeah.
how is it going to work with like one industry leader leading the entire fireside chat?
Well, we're still working out the whole thing. There's one big area.
Yeah, it's
in
like a
the
amphitheater type.
yeah.
situation.
cool.
Well, it's not really an
It's
amphitheater.
not that big, but it's got
yeah.
But it's
It's got
enough
the
to
But
fit
it's
raised
a
everybody.
big general meeting room where with like little bleacher seats and stuff like that.
but it's outside, right? I thought it was...
No, it's inside.
Oh, it's inside. Okay. There's something outside that's
I'll be right back.
I thought there was something
Okay, cool.
outside with the benches and stuff, and it has like the I think it has a fire next to it. Anyway, well,
Cool.
we're fine.
You'll figure it out.
Yeah, Mark was out there. He assessed the situation for all of that. So, no, I like the questions though because it helps me.
Yeah.
But-
No, I'm just trying to picture like, say Ryan Summers is leading a fireside chat. Is it because like fireside chat kind of seems like it'll be intimate, but
Yes.
then if you've got 200 people, then it's not that intimate.
Well, here's the
So-
thing: 200 people is the absolute maximum.
I understand that's the max.
Maximum. That's if
Right.
everybody adds like a person on every bunk that they have as well. You know what I mean? Plus, yeah, there's other sections. So, I mean, ideally, yeah, 200 people, but I don't think that not every camp is gonna like. There's 5 people cabins, there's 6 people cabins, and not every one of those is going to be like a 6-person cabin, and then they also bought 6 tickets for their other bunks. You know what
Yeah.
I'm saying?
I was
So-
just wondering, like, what if you did a thing like where all of the people that are leading fireside chats lead chats every night, and then you break it up into smaller groups so it's a little more intimate, so people aren't
Yeah.
so intimidated to pipe in. Because if it's this
Right.
really big group and like someone's
Yeah.
leading a chat, I mean, like it's cool if you want to have someone like kind of maybe it's more like a presentation sometimes, but if you want it to be intimate and for everyone to like be able to feel comfortable kind of piping in, kind of like they do with Monday
Right.
meeting, then you'd want to break it into
Yeah.
smaller groups.
It will be a little more intimate, and we found a spot that I think is pretty good for that. And the thing about the fireside chats too is that's when we kind of like have a little bit of alcohol,
Right.
like break out the kegs and stuff. So one of the things
Nice.
about the campfire chats is we're kind of all going to be gathered around, but what generally will happen in that situation is like a couple people go over here and start hanging out and talking and over here. So it kind of starts as the campfire thing and it spreads as kind of like the hangout for the night.
Cool.
It kind of
That
turns
sounds
into
awesome.
that. So it might start with we start all gathering around and one of the campfire people are talking because it is outside in an open space, like that many people, it doesn't feel as crazy when it's outdoors. It's not like we're all
Right.
sitting in chairs. So
Totally.
and then once we once
Sorry
we
about that,
start
y'all.
the conversation and we get into different topics, I think as the hours progress, it'll kind of like just become the outdoor party with the campfire. You know what I mean? It's going to have this
Yep.
general, and that is something that we were facing. It's like we have to kind of limit the amount of tickets because we want it to feel intimate, So
For sure.
and then what else was I going to bring up? Because of course, the new promo video. So
Yeah.
I've been working on these for a little bit. Y'all have seen some of the ones that are coming out later that we haven't that we're not showing yet. But working on a series of promo videos for this, and I'm gonna do the rough draft. It's not actually done rendering some of these at the right sample rate. I got a couple other tweaks to make, but I really wanted to show it off today on the show. And
Damn David, are you excited about Camp Mograph?
I'm very excited about Camp Mograph. Yeah, I'm not even at this point. I'm not even sure if I'm gonna go to half res. Like, I mean,
really?
I love half. Well, no, I guess I will. But it's like the thing that I feel like I'm not loving half res as much every year. The thing I love about half res is just chilling with everybody like before and after half res.
Right.
So it's like, you know, I love Chicago, and like at Chicago in September is amazing.
Yeah.
And going on those like riverboat tours and like just going to restaurants and hanging out is like my favorite part. But half res isn't necessarily my favorite.
Mm-hmm. And the other thing too is like think about the amount of people that are at half res. There's way less people than half res intimacy.
Yeah, Camp Mograph it'll be a much more intimate
probably
setting.
about half the amount of people. So and outdoors.
Yeah, I'm definitely into the more like I like one-on-one. I like more chill and intimate, you know, things. And some of these events get a little overwhelming.
We've done that with the classes too. They're going to be split up in such a way to where we're not
workshops
hacking.
Right.
I'm sorry. I've got it. Workshops.
Come on, get your lingo right.
Workshop every single day.
Every single day.
I can't get that show. I can't not get that thing out of my head.
Yeah, I'm really excited. I'm really excited.
Yeah, I really want to go. Sounds like a lot of fun. It's been in my head for 2 weeks. I can't get my own creation out of my head.
Yeah, Cyrus was repeating it and singing it and thought it was hilarious. So if you like passed the 13-year-old test, then you're definitely cool. So
just wait, y'all.
Yeah,
just wait.
Do you know why
I'm not gonna say anything?
Do you know why I can't get past the whole thing?
Wait.
With the whole problem when you have one of those in your head is that you have to resolve it by listening to the song to let it end, so your brain resolves it. But this is made to be on a loop.
Perpetuates it.
Yeah. It's
so
like
I
the
don't
song
know
that
how to
never
resolve.
ends.
I'm gonna have to build a version of the song where it ends and listen to it.
Yeah, just at a
just for your own,
at the end.
satisfying like resolution.
Yeah. God, I wish these things wouldn't autoplay. Okay, here we go. So I want to show you the premiere of the new series we're gonna do. There's gonna be probably 6 to 8 of these things, unless I, get a wild hair and want to do even more. But this will come out either later today or possibly tomorrow, depending on when I get my render done. And everybody just sit back and check it out. Here it is.
Is that Mark?
Oh, that's hilarious. I didn't hear you say it's pretty good, I guess.
Nerd. So good, dude. You hit that Stranger Things vibe so nicely.
Kevin, there is screen burn in that.
Right.
Yeah. So I created some other ones first. So this is actually the first one that's going to be released, but the first one I knocked out in like 24 hours. It's pretty exhausting, but that's
I
what
love the wide variety of like talents that you're putting into that, like the 3D animation and the 2D animation, and you design the audio, which kind of blows my mind.
Yeah, the audio was pretty good.
Audio is really good.
What is it that my little emoji thing says?
Schmoozy
Oh,
Matt.
really?
Yeah.
That's funny.
Yeah, that's going to be a hard one for the listeners on the podcast. You're going to have to check it out in the show notes, but yeah, I say it's pretty good, I guess. You say Schmoozy Matt. Mark says Monday meeting, and Liam says Clish Claw.
Oh, that's funny.
Yeah. But it's all kind of like subtle and like not. I mean, there's people that are going to see that don't know who we are. So I just kind of put in there. It's kind of an Easter egg. It's just supposed to sound like some digital talking of some sort.
Did you the smoke in the beginning? Is that TFD or is it X particles?
That is TFD.
Nice.
I'm really getting to understand TFD, especially with Octane, because like I know you, Matt, with TFD,
I use TFD straight default.
I
think it looks a million times better, and it renders just as fast, if not faster.
And I've really worked in some things that make it work, although that still was a separate. Here's an Octane thing. that may just
Oh, yeah.
be something that you can't do is there was fog in that room, right? But
Mhm.
also I put TFD in there, and what would happen
Uh-oh.
is, you know, the TFD box that goes around how whatever your extent of your
Yeah.
smoke is,
That
there's this
intersects with the volume box.
yeah, there's this slightly lighter box that's around
Yep.
everything.
That's the most that annoys me more than anything about volumes is that they can't handle intersections in
Mhm.
Octane. Like there's like a max number of intersections, but even then, a lot of the time you can see the bounding box.
Yeah, it's
And
the bounding box
I
that was
think that's
killing
going to
me.
be fixed pretty soon in like 2019, I guess. I'm not really
Mhm.
sure, but I talked to Jules and he said that that was going to go away
Okay.
pretty soon.
Yeah, because I had to do a
Same
separate
thing with
pass.
like, you know how if you have a light in the volume, a lot of the time you see the outline of the light, even if it's set to 0 opacity.
Mm-hmm.
Like an area light, you can
Yeah.
still see it, and that's like
Yeah.
a reason that it's annoying because then you can't light your objects close up. You have to put them outside of the frame because
Right.
otherwise you got this ghost object in there.
Yeah.
That one's just a straight up bug, apparently. Like I mentioned that to Jules at
Mm.
one point, and he's like, "Oh, that's a bug." I'm like, "Okay, well, that's been in there for years, and it's been
That's
driving me
funny.
crazy for years. Like since like my space video, I wanted to do some fog volumes with like kind of fog up the interiors a little bit, but I couldn't hide the lights anywhere.
Yeah.
Everything's going to be fixed in 2019.1.
Everything, yeah,
That's what Ray
exactly.
says. Yeah, but I had so much fun on that, and like the thing is, it's all the different aspects. It's fun to like produce every aspect of it, you know,
Mhm.
including the audio, which I really have fun with. I was using Audition, I was using Audacity for some capture. What else? Ableton. I use some Ableton to do a lot of the digitizing stuff because it's real easy to do that, and to do a lot of the music. There's like, you know, all the music pieces. I did all of that in Ableton with Serum, which I think is Deadmau5's plugin,
Cool.
Oh, is it?
or he had something to do with, you know. So, a lot of fun to try and do something like that.
How'd you go about doing the 8-bit style animation? You just create like block
Oh.
out pixels in After Effects, or is there a plugin or what?
Yeah, EJ's plugin, yo.
You used EJ's plugin? That's
Oh,
awesome.
yeah.
Just pixelate it. That's so good.
Oh yeah, just throw pixelated on everything. Now some of this stuff I'd pre-comp because I wanted to get the pixels just right for one element, but it wouldn't be the same settings for something else. And I also had like areas where I had different layers of pixelated where it just gets stronger and stronger as you go down.
Right.
You know, but I also realized that you can just take what it makes automatically on that adjustment layer and you can paste it on any layer in After Effects, and it will do pixelated just for that layer. Which I didn't
Cool.
realize
Oh, yeah.
at first. Yeah, but that's super awesome plugin because you can choose how many colors, you can choose
And it's
the blocks.
it's very inexpensive, isn't it?
Yeah, yeah, it's pretty inexpensive. So
I have to look it up now.
Yeah.
I don't remember what the price is, but yeah, it was just a
Boil
lot
it,
of fun
shade it,
to-
wiggle it, pixelate it.
There you go. How much?
$9.
$9.
Yeah.
Just give him your money.
Just give them your money. Same thing with like Merck's plugins.
Yeah.
The other day I went on a buying spree and just bought like all of Merck's plugins because they're all pretty cheap. Especially if you like subscribe to his Patreon, they're all super discounted.
Yeah.
So just go and buy them all.
Yeah, so I'm doing this whole work smarter, not harder thing with this too. And of course, I'm bookending all of these with stuff that's already been, you only have to render that once. And then I have templates for the insides. So like I have all sorts of VHS filters and weird aspect ratios and
Mhm.
all that kind of noise built in. And once I got it down the first time, all I have to do now is make a really clean version of one of the
Yeah.
games. And then I just
Uh-huh.
plug it all back in, and then it does an image sequence. I bring that back into Octane, and just plug that into a new project and let that render out so that you see it on the screen, and you get the push in at the beginning and all of that stuff. So it's all about like trying to make this as easy as possible moving forward. So,
Yeah.
24 hours to do the first one. Then last night, I think I spent like 6 to 8 hours on just making a new game. And
Yeah.
putting it in there and putting it back through all those filters, and in 8 hours I had a whole new piece. So I think that's a pretty
That's
good
rad.
turnaround. So anyway, anything else on that? I don't have any other notes unless y'all do. Can't Mograph.
Camp Mograph.
Can't Mograph.
Just subscribe to all of our socials so you can see all these new fun promos that are going to be coming out, rolling out. And make sure that you also subscribe to the Mograph.com YouTube as well, because we're not going to be broadcasting on the old channel that much longer.
Yeah.
Also, continue sending in your photos and videos for NAB. I've been getting some of those from people from that file link in the Slack, which I need to pin or something. It's probably already gone at the rate everything disappears. We have so many messages on Slack.
Mm-hmm.
I know some people want to get in the Slack, so we will probably open it up again. I'm not sure when. Must consult with Matt a little bit. But I also thought it was funny this week. Matt and I both went off on After Effects and on our personal Twitter accounts because we were both having problems with it. And
What were your problems?
We started this thing. My favorite part about After Effects is ...
Yeah,
You
you
know.
should. This should. Yeah, everyone should go on there and say my favorite thing about After Effects
About
is
hashtag After
It's
Effects.
a truck
is-
stop bathroom.
Yeah,
Yeah.
get
So,
in,
Matt,
get out
what
as
was
fast
yours?
as
Get
you
in,
can.
get out. Yeah,
Oh, I don't remember. It's when you hit play, and it does nothing.
nice.
Oh, yeah,
Like-
yeah.
I'll be sitting there hitting spacebar, hitting enter, or I'll just want to hear audio, so I'll hit the the decimal, and just nothing happens.
My favorite
like-
is
Why?
how it pops up at you, like on Windows specifically. Whenever it's done rendering, it will just pop up in your face.
Yeah.
Have you guys noticed
While
that?
you're
Like
doing
you're
something.
in another app, like doing
Yeah.
something, and it's done rendering, and it just like brings it to the front, and then goes. Bring!
Yeah.
Did
Yeah.
you see that?
I-
Did you see
was
that
it-
Mograph meme where there's someone like with a like super, like just a trumpet or something standing
Uh-huh.
over someone, like. Bring!
Yeah.
Like, yeah, it's so startling.
I think
The sheep
I
is
think-
worse. It'll give you a heart attack.
Yeah, you're right. The sheep
I was
is
gonna
pretty
say,
bad.
I think someone on the Slack or something said, "I like to live dangerously. I put my my cell phone notifications as the sheep."
Oh my
Oh,
god. That's the worst.
Oh, it's awful.
That'd be funny.
Yeah, my favorite part about After Effects is when you clear and purge all the caches and all the everythings in the RAM and everything, and then you render something out, and there's like 2 frames of leftover purge crap that should have been gone, and you're like, but I rendered that out already, and
Yep.
after the cache was cleared, and I shouldn't have. Yeah. Raid Zero says it's one of the only apps you have to buy plugins to make sure that it works the way that
Right?
it should. And
Right?
yeah. Yeah, I get super frustrated with that app, man.
When's Calvary coming out anyway?
Not
Oh,
soon
yeah.
enough.
Not soon enough.
Forgot about that. Yeah. So let's move on to some Ravcock. What's your flavor?
What's your flavor?
Nice. Nice. Classic.
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 At least we didn't lose that one.
Nope.
So I am in the process of upgrading to 2018.1 because I really want to get into some of the new stuff now that got some projects out of the way.
Cryptomat is amazing.
Yes.
Dude,
Oh,
once
cool.
you get into Cryptomat, you're gonna be like, I don't know how I ever lived without it.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, there's a good tutorial from the Pixel Lab on using it. It seems pretty straightforward. Though
Yeah,
the plugin
it
for
only
After
takes a
Effects
few
is
seconds to set it up.
the plugin for After Effects is like pretty limited compared to like the one for Nuke and Fusion, but still, it's pretty cool.
Yeah.
Oh, and happy
just
birthday, Ri-Fi, by the way. I'm just throwing that
Happy
Happy
birthday.
birthday, Ri-Fi.
Rifey,
Ri-Fi.
Reefy.
Reefy, Weefy.
Hope you're out
Um,
doing something fun.
Yeah, but Cryptomat though.
That crypto mat though, man.
I just don't do any compositing. That's another Mograph meme. Is like there was one with SpongeBob, and it was like the secret to creating good renders.
Uh-huh.
And then he opens up the case, and inside there's the word compositing.
And
Oh.
then he throws it. Ah!
No, yeah,
Oh,
yeah.
no,
I
that's
just
yeah.
wrote. All I did was write triggered on it.
Did you see
Yeah.
the last Mograph memes?
'Cause I don't.
It was the one, I think it was yesterday, where it's got this this guy stepping up like a whole bunch of stairs.
Yes.
Let me find it.
On the daily render.
Yeah,
just
on the daily
skipping
render, it
all
says
of-
my everyday renders, and that's idea is the bottom one, and then the next step, design, composite, refine, and then the last one is bash render post.
Yeah,
and he's just skipping over all of
the
them.
important
I loved
steps.
that Beeple commented and said, ha 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 ha.
Yeah, totally.
Oh man, that's good.
It's
stuff.
true though. I mean, if you're doing it daily, it's pretty hard.
There you go. There you
Get
go.
it
Yeah.
Yeah, that's funny. Yeah. So
like,
other
I'm not iterating here on these dailies.
Yeah, freaking dailies. What's what else is going on in the world of Octane, Mr. Octane? Jesus, are you excited about 2019?
I am. I can't wait to try the vector displacement and all the other crazy
Yes.
features and the full iteration of Spectron. Like right now, they do have a volume spotlight in there in 2018, but it's
Right.
still it's a little janky. And I can't figure out how to get like noise in the volume. I tried like putting like a regular old volume object in there, but it kind of overlapped weird with the spotlight and like dimmed it down, so they weren't like interacting properly.
Sounds
And
like
you
a
can like,
samples thing or something.
I don't think so. I think that it's just still like kind of in its early development mode. It kind of feels like a standard render volumetric spotlight at this point.
Yeah.
And like you can increase the cone angle and stuff, but it doesn't really match visually with the viewport. So like the angle in the viewport is not the same.
The
Yeah, I'd say like the only benefit right now of the spotlight over your guys' plugin is that it's like extremely fast and clean. You don't get that like nasty noise towards the top.
It works
trying to have
in
volumetric.
2018 too.
Oh, right, because yours doesn't work in 2018.
I mean, I haven't had time to mess with it. I think some people have been able to use it, but you know, I have to kind of get on the possibly final version of what that is. I think it's going to change a lot, because the reason there was noise is because it's kind of this hack that allows you to kind of mix some Cinema 4D stuff.
Yeah, then we start focusing on the 3.07 crowd, right?
Yeah. No, I think what we'll do with it is we'll probably keep the features that we like, but then implement it into the new Spotlight system, and then
that's a
add
good idea.
a whole bunch of other stuff to it. So that
I mean, like they don't have gobos right now. Like that's a really big thing. Is like having different, like thinking of Andrew Kramer's Nebula plugin. Having like different noises and ways to break up that volumetric light is really important.
And that should be easy for us to port over at that point.
Right.
I think so. Matt Mills in the chat was. He said,
I saw that name. I'm like, what?
He's
stealing my identity?
That's almost Matt Milstead.
Yep.
But he said, did you say vector
he
displacement?
said, did you say vector displacement? And I think the example was an ear, right?
Yeah, there were lots of ears, which is kind of funny
right.
and creepy. But I mean, the point is that it doesn't just displace straight up like your normal displacement map. It can create like full
XYZ.
Geometry.
That'll be super nice because
what kind of maps are used to create that? Like, I can only imagine something like a normal map.
That's what I was gonna say. Yeah,
it's gosh, what is it? So you can they're I don't know how to explain it.
It's essentially just 3 colors, I believe, right? And
I don't know.
It's like works like a normal map, but it has more information in it. So,
yeah,
I don't know. I'll have to investigate.
I don't know.
I don't know.
I don't know. I don't know if there's any other Octane stuff we want to talk about. Now, you do have some links to some really good Octane stuff, but I've got those in the links section.
Links. Dave's links.
So, Dave Slinks.
Dave's links. I don't know. Yeah, I don't have a ton of stuff to talk about. I feel like we already covered all the new 2018 features on a previous podcast, right?
Maybe.
Yeah.
Sure.
Though we've already forgotten
the
about it.
Vectron stuff. Did you see the
that reminds
renders
me.
that Smearballs is doing with the Vectron stuff?
Yeah, Smearballs actually.
No.
I did. Yeah,
he's doing a
compositing
very
it in.
like it looks.
It's super cool.
I commented on a Twitter post. I was like, dude, this is the only way I accept the use of Vectron, making it not look like Vectron.
Yeah, I mean,
yeah, I see.
It's still limited, but Smearball has actually sent me this big list that I need. This is a link that I need to get in there for you guys. It's a big list of different code that you can put into Vectron, different maths to get, all sorts of looks. So
Cool.
It's just a big list of formulas, and like apparently, like you can colorize it in certain, like there are different, like parameters for colorizing different parts of the Vectrons and stuff too. So I wish that that had been out before my tutorial, because I would have included that too. But
yeah,
Is this what you're talking about right here? This thing?
yeah, isn't that cool?
Yeah,
Oh, that's rad.
That's pretty cool.
Yeah.
That's super cool.
But I mean, yeah, I mean Yeah, exactly. Like people are just not creative enough a lot of the time with these features, and they're like, here's Vectron and a daylight, but yeah,
Right.
Smearballs is actually like using it to
for something.
as a design element, which is what it should be.
Yeah.
Yep.
Yeah, that was my question in the first place. What do you use it for? But
What exactly
Well,
would you
watch
say
my
you do with
tutorial
Vectron?
and you will see what it can be used for. Because like
Ah,
Guardians of the Galaxy 2, for instance, they used it in all the environments. Like the entire planet of Ego is all fractals and
Nice.
different fractal designs that look crazy complex and cool. Yeah, it's used all over the place. Like Doctor Strange, like really trippy environments, or like concert visuals, or there's definitely uses out there for it. And you could. It's just the problem is right now it's not that art directable. There's like a few different formulas, but like this formula sheet might allow us to do some really cool things.
mm-hmm.
Create
And Billy
some
says that
new-
it's a vector RGB displacement map. I just don't understand,
makes
how
sense.
to go about creating
yeah, but
that.
who
So-
sells those, or who
Right.
it's like
What's cool about that being included is you can export vector RGB displacement maps in Cinema when you're doing the sculpting stuff. So similar to the stuff that I
Oh.
showed off at NAB, like during
Okay.
that quick 5-minute thing, like you can't use those in Octane right now.
Right.
You can't take that displacement map because it's got to have
Okay.
all that extra information.
So
It'll be nice
ZBrush
because then you'll be
2
able to
and-
do
yeah.
stuff like that. Yeah.
Okay, that makes sense now. I would guess I was more curious about the generation of that content.
right.
Yeah, I don't know.
Cool. All right. Well,
But yeah, and one other thing, like in 2019, I think Jules said there's going to be like 1 million different OSL cameras and support for like if you want
Yeah.
like an anamorphic looking lens or different,
oh yeah.
camera types. So that's going to be awesome. Yeah, and I don't know, there's a bunch of new features out there. There's already like crazy OSL noises that I've started playing with, and you can use them in a displacement map right now if you pipe them through a baking texture node.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, I think in the next iteration, you won't have to do that baking texture crap. I don't know if you guys saw Barton's talk from NAB, but that made all of us Octane people pretty jealous because he was using a displacement blender in Redshift to like
Yeah.
blend between two displacement maps and have one that was, he basically painted one that was much more enhanced so that it would, it kind of felt like Fields, but it would balloon up it was the soles of the shoes, and all those little details would kind of expand and whatnot. So he was blending between two different displacement maps, and that's not something possible to do in Octane right now,
Right.
Mm-hmm.
which is irritating. And stuff like my Mars tutorial, I'm doing hacks to like I'm overlaying multiple displacement maps on multiple pieces of geometry, which gets super heavy, and I'm doing that so that you can have like big rock textures as well as small rock textures, and like just layering in a bunch of different displacement maps together, but then it's just a bunch of intersecting geometry rather
Right.
than a more clean solution, which would be blending all these together into one really complex map that's just a single displacement map would be a lot
Right.
better.
I did find a way to make it work, but it does slow things down quite a bit, and it's all using Cinema 4D. So it's not something that's technically would be available on other platforms. It's just I found kind of a hack for it in Cinema 4D to do those mixes, but it just kills.
What with
it,
like
it just
displacement
kills.
deformers or what?
No, I mean it's within the displacement channel. I found a way at one point to use a bunch of Cinema 4D stuff, but man, it just kills it and it gets crashy.
Mhm.
And I was like,
Mhm.
man,
You
it
probably
works,
have to
but,
resend it every frame too, right? Which
Oh yeah, no, not necessarily. I don't know, but yeah, that's something that I would love to do because even when you're adjusting displacement, if you want to just change gamma, I don't even think the gamma changes, does it? If you adjust the gamma
idea.
of a displacement
No.
map,
Yeah, you can't color correct it. You can't do anything. It's
Yeah.
very limiting. Yeah. Phil
that's-
said
yeah,
Quixel Mixer is good for mixing displacement map textures, which is true. I
Mhm.
still need to try that out because that's like the main feature. But then aren't you limited to Quixel's textures at that point?
oh,
think
I
that
don't
might
know.
be
The
true.
way that I do it is I just start mixing stuff in Photoshop.
Right.
But
that's definitely an option.
That's but that's a pain because you gotta oh, well, that's a little bit too high on that layer. Oh, I got to bring that down a step, and then you change the gamma,
And also,
then
you're
you save
kind
and
of
refresh.
you're flying blind by doing that.
Yeah,
Like
exactly.
you're like that's why for me the most intuitive thing is still, even though it's much heavier, like just putting out a displacement map.
Mhm.
Like say you've got some big rocks and then you want to add in some finer details, just take that same texture and duplicate the geometry and then make
Yeah.
it smaller so that and then paint up and down in Octane, like with the brush tool, like some of the geometry higher and lower, so that you're getting areas where you've got
Right.
one level of detail and areas where you have a different level of detail and stuff like that to create more variation. But yeah, so but 2019 is going to solve all our problems.
Yeah. Yeah, Phil said
I
you
feel
can
like I'm
import your
starting-
own textures and save them in Quixel.
Cool. Oh, okay, that's awesome.
You feel like what? Sorry.
I feel like I'm starting to talk like EJ about the trash can Max. He's just like, yeah, next Mac, it's right on the
Yeah.
horizon.
Mhm.
No, I'm just kidding. Like it's Octane, like Otoy is definitely updating faster and faster and releasing new features. It just takes a while for them, I feel like, to get from the standalone to the plugin. Like Spectron's been out technically for a while, but all
Yeah.
of the features to do with it are not there yet in the plugin, as far as I can tell.
Yeah.
Yeah, and that's something where at least Otoy is working on that for the next version. As far as the Mac trash can is concerned, good luck with that.
Exactly.
I saw a
Yeah.
bunch of people on Twitter still like defending Mac and stuff like that. They're like, yeah, I was on a PC for 2 years and I finally just gave up and went to a Mac with an eGPU. And I'm like, really?
Why? It's
Like,
so
I
expensive.
don't get it. It is. It's expensive.
Yeah.
And I mean, all it is like a launcher. I don't know.
Yeah.
I don't know.
Yeah, that's just I get the other pieces of Mac OS. I get it, But the problem
Yeah.
is that people are like starting to do stuff like this now on on their
Yeah.
Macs. Look at this monstrosity here. Someone has cut out the metal part of the side of one of
I
their
mean, this is pretty similar to
towers.
what you guys were doing with your Monster Max for many years.
Exactly. But the thing is now it's just getting so ridiculous.
So ugly.
and
Yeah,
so
and the problem
ugly.
is like you can't update to the newest operating system, so you
Right.
don't get all the new features and stuff like that.
You
and
can't update drivers any further.
you can't update drivers past a certain thing. It's just like I don't know. Like I just to each his own.
It's band-aids.
Or her
It's
own.
tons of band-aids.
Yeah.
Whatever.
I had a couple more small Octane notes.
Yeah.
So
Do it.
I was
Let's
having
hear
a
it.
weird. Let's hear it. I was having a weird issue with an Octane scene where I'm doing some concert visuals for the Lumineers.
Ooh.
Yeah, they're one of my favorite bands, so I'm pretty excited about that. And it would render, just fine until it finished the frame, but then it would never save out and move on to the next frame,
Mhm.
which was I'd never run into that before, where it would just like hit the end of the progress bar and then never move on to the next frame. So I started just deleting stuff out of the scene like you do, like turning off network rendering, trying to diagnose and break down the problem. And then at some point I just deleted everything from the scene and hit render, and it still didn't work. It would still hang on the first frame. Like, what the
Weird.
heck? And like, okay, well, at this point now it's like update to the newest version of Octane or change version. So I switched to 2018. Same thing still happened.
Oh,
um,
jeez.
So I was like, okay, you know what? Just copy everything to a new machine. I mean, not new machine, to a new
project.
scene,
Yeah.
new project, and then hit go, and it worked. So I don't know, like some render
Jeez.
setting freaked it out or something about the project. I just never understand why some scenes can get corrupted or weird like that.
Yeah.
It's like ghosts in the machine.
I've had that issue before where it'll just do the one frame and it just stops and acts like it's done with the render, but it only did the one frame. But usually
Mhm.
for me, 9 times out of 10, that's had something
The
to do with
memory issue.
VRAM memory.
Yeah.
Mhm.
So
Yeah,
yeah, that's
It
really
wasn't.
weird.
it was super weird. And then what else? Oh yeah, Raphael Rao has a new tutorial that's really cool. I mean, a lot of it's like similar stuff that we've seen before on creating dirt nodes, but this time he shows you how you can use vertex maps to create dirt nodes, which is like now the vertex node is native in Octane. Before it was kind of a hack from Amit, but now it's actually like natively built in there, so it works a lot faster and better. And yeah, it made me want to experiment. I just watched Tim Clapham's Learn Fields in a Day, which
Oh, cool.
How'd you
like
took
it?
me It was awesome, but it took me like 3 days. So false advertising.
False advertising.
I can't sit there for like 8 or 10 hours.
you should email him saying, "Listen, Tim.
Listen, I
like
want my
your
money
stuff,
back.
Yeah, right.
But I definitely did not learn this in a day."
Yeah, exactly. But yeah, so it made me want to like mix different vertex maps, like use fields to mix between, you know how you can do like reaction diffusion now with fields. Use that to pipe that data into a vertex map like he shows, but then use that to mix between different materials like a metal or subsurface scattering, so that like something creepy grows over the surface of a metal and it makes it all translucent. And then you can also pipe that same data into like a displacement deformer, and have it like bump up in those areas where things are growing too. So just makes me want to go and do some experiments with like gross infected looking things like you do. But yeah,
he is the freaking octane node master in Cinema 4D, man.
Oh, he is. Yeah.
It's insane.
Yeah, there's some cool little tips in there. He shows you solo nodes, which I think I've put that in my tutorials before too, but not many people know you can do the right click and solo node in Octane which just gives you a look at kind of the luminance of whatever node you select, which is really helpful.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's super
And then
cool.
I don't know, the only other note I had was just about like I guess, you know, we all did a bunch of Intel work, which was really fun.
Yeah.
But like with Octane, I guess the note would be like, I, created a super easy technique for making blinky lights to add a ton of complexity to those Greeble looks. And all that was creating one of those dot maps from either whatever that displacement, what's that displacement thing called? JS placement.
Oh, yeah.
But I think I like Beeple's dot maps better. But like taking one of those dot maps, for instance, and then just so simple, Luma matting it in After Effects with a fractal noise.
Yeah.
Just animating the evolution, and then all of a sudden you've got blinky lights. So that's really obvious and easy, I guess. But a lot of people don't think of that.
Speaking of the Intel job that we did, you said you were using light linking and stuff. I actually used that for a project recently, and I really liked it. I mean, it was neat being able to light things individually. I mean, you add so much more to the project, having to light things individually, but it's nice being able to have that control.
I don't know how I lived without it, honestly. Like, it saved my ass so much on this Intel project because it just let me light the products super nicely without being concerned about how it was blowing out the floor and stuff like that. So just really bring things off, bring things up in the scene and off of the background that way. But yeah, with the blinky lights, then, you just export that as an image sequence, bring it back into Octane, blackbody emission, and then, then you just don't even worry about it. Like, it's an image sequence sitting in Octane, and the lights are constantly blinking, and it just adds coolness wherever you go. Yeah. So just simple stuff like that. I feel like using image sequences is, a lot of people don't think about that, but it's definitely added complexity to a lot of my projects. Like the space whales, like that was just some trap code form stuff wrapped around the whales, and just like having that image sequence of some other animation that you created elsewhere, then put into, or mapped onto a 3D object adds a lot of detail and movement for free. Yeah. For free.
I got a note real quick here from Mark. Something I wanted to mention too about the fireside chat stuff is we will have question cards ahead of time, just to help with the fireside chat question card stuff. All right, I know this is random, but whatever.
I got another random one. I'm gonna also do concert visuals for Zed, apparently coming up, which is like I don't even know much about Zed, but isn't that like one of your favorites?
Snap! One of my favorites. One of my favorites. But was it Beeple? Did Beeple do Zed concert visuals years ago?
Yeah, I think so. Yeah.
Oh yeah, that's right. Because I was actually there, and some of the stuff that I saw in there looked like 0 Day. Remember 0 Day, the thing he did? I was like, man, that looks like the same style. I turned to my friend, I was like, that looks like the same style as this guy called Beeple that I heard of one time. This is a long time ago.
Yeah, totally.
Yeah, that'll be fun, dude. For sure.
Yeah, I'm excited. I mean, these things are like, I feel like the budgets are not nearly as high for concert visuals usually, but I'm at the point right now where I'm like, I just want some fun jobs, you know?
Not where they used to be. The concert visual budget used to be really high. And way more pre-planning and stuff.
Yeah,
like you could
same
easily,
with music videos too.
Yeah,
true.
Make 100 or 200K doing these packages and stuff, and you know. Any other Octane stuff?
Nah.
All right.
Nah.
I'm gonna move on to some Corona here, and I don't have too much information, but I did catch a little blip from Sean Astrom. He posted that caustics are being added now to the newest, I guess, beta of Corona.
It'll be in C4D very soon, says.
Yeah.
And so then, Tokyo Megaplex has been doing all these tests with all the different render engines with caustics. And
oh, really?
He loves those caustics, yeah.
Yeah. Them caustics, though.
The best one is probably, what's that one that Jeremy Cox used called?
Indigo.
Indigo, yeah, because it has
that's
Metropolis light transport.
Yeah.
That MLD-DO.
Yeah, that's what Tokyo Megaplex was using.
Yeah.
For a lot of his little stuff, and it's very cool.
We just
for those who are interested, we just added a Blender channel to our Slack as well.
Yeah, nice.
And we got a few people in there. It's
Blender's
11.
like
we have 11
weirdly,
people.
Nice. Blender's getting weirdly good.
It is, yeah.
It's got a lot of cool features. Like Eevee, I think, put it over the top, and I don't know.
Eevee, here's the I don't know. Like Eevee, I think. Well, it's the same idea as like say URender or something like that, or the new upgrades for the viewer and stuff like that. I think it's a lot of the same ideas.
Right.
I don't know, maybe just a little bit more refined.
So is that caustics thing that he's using? Is that like the best? Is that the best? Like as far as like accuracy, or
accuracy,
speed,
yes.
or
okay, yeah. I think maybe speed as well. It's just the best at calculating light, realistic light more than almost any other renderer, it seems.
Tesla Rock, the Slack is not open right now, but if you send me an email, I'll get you an invite.
And then also Redshift, Matt, this morning you were talking about doing steps, how many steps there are with nodes sometimes.
Oh, yeah.
Hopefully
it's just
that'll be
like, I don't know. I hate that. Here's the thing. In Octane, I can just throw in a texture node, and use that for my image or the color or whatever, my diffuse, and then I can also use it for my bump. I can also use it for my my alpha and stuff like that. But like it's annoying that I have to use so many different freaking nodes, Or like for example, in Octane, I can just throw in a C4D noise and then just pump it right in, and it automatically does all the conversion stuff. So yeah, I don't know. It was just like I shouldn't. I don't know. I feel stupid sometimes when I have to Google how to do something really simple.
Like that alpha thing you were chasing.
Yeah. Like I didn't know you had to do a channel splitter and stuff like that. It's like, okay, I should just be able to pump that right in.
So you can. Okay. Because and that's the thing that basically Octane is doing, right? Like it says, do you want to use the image or the alpha or the whatever? But instead of just selecting that, you have to like add those extra nodes.
Yeah.
Like some presets would be good for
that's
something
one of my
like
biggest
that.
gripes about nodes. Like I don't mind if they're like super streamlined and stuff like that, but when you have to add like 800 nodes just to do the same thing,
right?
Like for example, like Fusion, if I want to bring in something and render it out, that's I don't know, whatever.
I don't know.
Whatever.
I don't know.
I don't know.
I don't know.
This guy.
Jackson. And
Bro.
I
swear, like this was the first year that Beeple really like, I don't know, he was there for the whole time.
Yeah, it was amazing.
And like he was there for SIGGRAPH, but I feel like he was doing more his own thing. This time he was really hanging out all the time, and it was so much fun.
Yeah.
He's like the chillest dude and the most humble, down to earth guy. Yeah.
So much fun.
And like that one of those last nights he told both Chelsea and Ross that like he's like just such the pusher of getting people to do dailies.
Yeah.
And so he told them he was personally like gonna bug them once their dailies started up. Like, whoa, the wind is like knocking my stuff over here. He's gonna personally like bug them, which I don't know how he has time to do that, but like once they get their dailies started up, he's gonna keep them accountable. He's like your personal trainer for C4D dailies. Yeah.
That guy's the best.
He's the best.
Bro.
And Ross was like tripping out. Like he was like, dude, thank you so much for convincing me to come. Like Beeple is gonna personally text me to do my dailies. He was so excited.
Beeple's the best, dude. He hits us up quite often. The other day it was just like
thing, dude. I was just
floored. He like so I mentioned it
so
to
awesome.
him. I was like, hey, you should do a daily for us. And he's like, yeah, sure, bro. Yeah, sure, bro. Whatever you want, bro. You know, and then we didn't. I just assumed I'd mention it and then maybe hit him up later. But he just did it on his own.
That's rad.
He's a man.
Yeah,
I love that guy.
He is the man.
Yep.
Segue into that.
Is it a segue into Beeple's people?
It can be not into Beeple's people, but
I was gonna say that would have been a great segue.
Yeah, I was gonna say that I actually got to finally work with him for 2.5 weeks on the FITC project before NAB, so that was really fun.
Yeah, they turned out really nice.
Thanks. Yeah, I think that's releasing really soon. Actually, I think the conference is already starting, so that'll be fun to get out there. It's like his old school, not sketch and tune style, but like it's the style he did for Kill Your Coworkers, that original video, like one of his very first videos. It's like very flat shaded with a bunch of like cell render lines on top. This time we used octane, but we like, in order to dumb it down, we just used diffuse lighting and like made sure it was just lit with a white texture environment, so that there was basically no directional light contribution, so very flat. Cool. And then at first we were using sketch and tune to do the lines, but it was taking forever, so we just switched to cell render, and it's like basically just as good if you multiply a couple copies onto itself in After Effects. So we just ended up doing that. And but yeah,
compositing?
In post compositing? What? Yeah, I know. I was like, I have to like composite 3 things together.
I gotta jump into After.
Terrible.
I gotta import 3 things. Oh, and I gotta change it. I gotta change the frame rate interpolation on each one.
I'm telling you what, Ariev, once you start using like Cryptomat and stuff like that, you're gonna be like, all right, it's all over.
Here's the thing about over-compositing though. If you are using Cryptomat and you're changing the levels on all your stuff, and you're like, you can break, like Barton said this too. Remember, he said like the more compositing they were doing with the Redshift stuff, the less it was looking real.
Yeah.
But, so it can be a problem. Totally like if you're going for something stylistic, it's great. But if you're like going in there and trying to hand tweak all the things, and even stuff like light linking can make a more unrealistic result. I mean.
Yeah. Oh, totally agree. Totally agree. Yeah, I noticed when I was doing the light linking stuff, it's like, okay, this doesn't look as realistic as it would actually look.
Yeah, totally.
So,
but getting back to the Beeple project real quick, it was really cool because that's the first video he's legit directed. Like usually he just does stuff solo.
Yeah.
And he had Tokyo Megaplex on there doing a bunch of character animation and Houdini voxel explosions and making buildings folding up and stuff. And then he had this
so good.
Cool, yeah. I mean, I still feel like I think Beeple still did by far the most work. But yeah, it was fun to have like a team environment. And he uses Basecamp, which
I hate
the worst.
It worked okay. It was fine.
Basecamp is so crappy.
What would you guys use? Dropbox Paper or
Dropbox Paper with the client, and between us, sometimes we just use Todoist Teams
or Slack.
Yeah.
Slack works
honestly,
really well
Basecamp is so crappy. Like, here's my biggest gripe with Basecamp: at least the client that I use Basecamp with doesn't just use Basecamp. They use Basecamp, they use Wistia, they use email, they use 4 different types of things, and
they probably text you.
Yeah, exactly that too. And they're just like, hey, I posted that. Okay, where did you post it? Oh, I posted it in Basecamp. Okay, hey, I sent you a message. Okay, where? In Basecamp. Okay, I don't see any pings. Oh, because I posted it in a to-do. Okay, well, let me look in the to-do. Oh no, that is
Mm.
in a comment of one of the files that I posted in all the docs and files.
And then people
Right,
start
it's hard.
commenting on the
Right.
on the Dropbox links using that commenting system that nobody uses.
Yeah, I gotcha.
And then
Yeah.
yeah.
It's so dumb. I hate
Yeah.
Basecamp.
I don't know. It was fun on this project because like I feel like Basecamp encourages like all the emojis and the little short responses. So we were just
Oh,
like
yeah.
throw in lots of like, you know, rocket emojis and whatever and like cool AF. It was just super like it was Beeple Basecamp, you know.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Um,
I guess it depends on who's using it.
It was and like you don't need I mean maybe for a more complex project, but we were all kind of doing our own things and just kind of posting stuff up there to look at and sharing some assets, but it didn't need to be like crazy good organized, so it worked pretty well for what it was.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, but I ended up just like kind of recreating a bunch of my dead mouse cart stuff, but in the cartoony style.
Yeah.
And then
that's right.
making the loop-de-loops and stuff, and then I also, you know, we had this rainbow ripping through the Beeple town. And at first it was like he wanted kind of cartoon buildings squishing, but then it was too cartoony. And so we ended up just like breaking everything and just doing a bunch of, I just used Nitroblast like I do.
Mm-hmm.
So yeah, just getting the rainbow to bust through town and break everything up. But yeah, it was really fun and mostly focused on animation and camera movement, because like the lighting and texturing, it was all just flat. So yeah, it was kind of freeing in that regard to not have to worry about that stuff.
And that's public. I can post a link in the show notes on that now, by the way.
Yeah. Once it comes out, it's not quite out yet.
Okay.
Yeah.
I don't know. I was seeing comments that people saw it on Instagram or something.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Well, maybe it's out.
Maybe it's out.
Leak?
Yeah.
I don't know.
So, here's a question for you.
Oh, yeah?
I think Matt's taking a potty break, so we can talk about this real quick, because it was you and I working on the Intel job with Phil, Raid Zero.
Yeah, you guys killed it, by the way. Like,
Thanks.
that was the first time I'd really directed a big team. So it was you, Matt Bowden.
Oh, and Matt Bowden was in there, yeah.
Yep, and Phil Roberts, and you guys just super crushed it. And the client was just blown away with how quickly we were able to pump through tons of CG. Like, they were, you know, like, both the ad agency and the client loved everything we did.
Yeah, and there were some things we kind of, I think, learned along the way and like worked out as far as file sharing and stuff. It is kind of hard to file share. It worked okay for the few of us being in there, but there are some instances where I could see where something could have gotten screwed up. You know, like working on I don't know, like a Cinema 4D file in the Cinema 4D folder, which is we had a master scene, and then we had like some other things that we would just kind of label, you know, Dave's changes 3.0, whatever.
Yeah, it can be tricky.
You know? Yeah, but we handled it pretty good. But I could see if you had a few more people working on the project, it could have gotten out of hand.
Yeah.
As far as that stuff, just having a Dropbox folder.
I mean,
you know?
I think it worked out with this small team because you guys did Matt Bowden and you and Matt did like all the modeling. You guys did all this intricate modeling, and then you would like match.
Intricate.
To me, it's intricate, and I can't do that. So it was filling in holes in my skill set.
Little does he know, they're just
little does he know
squares.
You just take the image. That was a trick that you guys had, was just taking the actual image of the product and then mapping it onto the model. I'm like, so simple. I'd never would have thought to do that. I don't know all these tricks and shortcuts because I don't model stuff.
Yeah, run it through Photoshop and like pull grayscale, out of it and extrude it or give it a little displacement out of that. I don't know.
Yeah.
Is that your mom who just said hi?
My mom?
Yeah.
Yeah, Susan?
Oh, yeah. Yeah, that's my mom. Hi, Mom.
Hi, Mom.
That's super cute. She's on Facebook. It's cool how it aggregates all the different people watching.
Yeah.
But yeah, so I was saying, you know, you guys were like recreating a lot of animations too, and then I would, from other product videos that they wanted to update, you know, like kind of jankier animations that we wanted to bring into this new world and look we developed. So you guys would recreate those, and then I'd take that in, light it, and retexture it, and then set them all rendering.
Fix all our mistakes, you know.
What's that?
Fix all our mistakes.
No, there were no mistakes. No, there weren't any mistakes. Or like, you know, I do the camera moves, and you guys would build out the environment. with Dave, doing the trees and mountains and HUD stuff, and then Phil doing his crazy good work on the cars and the road. I feel like we got into a groove where each of us was doing what we were best at, or just taking on, some role and owning it. And also each of you guys like knows how to make something look really good creatively. So I could trust you guys to up the ante with everything we were doing. I'd be like, let's do this, let's do the wet road thing, and Phil would rock that out, or let's, and each of us was like playing art director too. Like, it wasn't that I was the art director telling you guys what exactly to do. We all trusted each other to make it better and better.
Not like you were the art director coming to us and telling me something that I've never done before.
Man, it gets me pumped.
So,
and yeah, I've showed that car shot to like several people, and
yeah, I have too.
Most of them think it's live action at first. So that's like a huge compliment to the level of photorealism we were able to achieve as a team. I think like the only giveaway for people is that the car's wheels don't create splashes when they drive over the puddles. But that would have been just way too much work. Like, I feel to like add in all those little compositing elements. Like, I don't want to do that.
No, just get some action essentials.
No. Then you have to like worry about rotoing every little. I don't know. It just gets really annoying. Anyway, yeah, great work, you guys.
Well done, people.
Is the fact that you could, we could bounce ideas off of each other.
Right. Dave, that's what I was saying.
Dave, you just got kind of quiet.
Oh, did I? Oh, hopefully I didn't.
No, there you go. Now you're
Is that better? Okay.
Yeah.
Sorry.
Yeah. Someone asked if the Intel vid is public. I think it's still going to be like a month or two before. They were internal videos, so I think they'll release them publicly at some point, and then we can post our work.
Cool.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah, and okay, so here was going to be my question on that whole deal, is that we worked on this together, and this is like kind of something that is probably helpful.
I think I know where you're going with this.
A lot of people,
and I think this is a good conversation.
We worked on this together. It was, this combo thing, right? And we all want to show it off, and you don't want to just like I'm not going to just throw it on the reel and be like, I made this, because like
I think you guys should.
This.
With that car shot, I think both you and Phil should put it on your reel, but I feel hesitant about putting it on my reel.
Oh, you definitely need to put it on your
reel. Well,
Matt,
you didn't work on that shot.
Damn it.
But it was
got me there.
It was one of those things where it's like, yeah, I would love to put that in our next reel, but like how do you break it down? I mean, can you maybe do like a breakdown type thing, and it has everybody's at like hashtag or at like name? Like,
this is okay.
Like, how do you go about
this? Is what Gurnge does. All right. So Gurnge on his, if you look at his demo reel, and I use his website and I use his demo reel as a perfect example all the time. So yeah, see, put it on your reel and site and label it in the description, just like he said.
And I like that. I know you. This is what I did on these things, and you write it in the description. But I feel like,
honestly,
I don't know.
I'm not gonna do that. It's funny because like none of us are gonna end up putting that shot on our reel because we're all too like, I don't know. Like,
are you kidding me? Heck yeah, we are.
Well, all right, you guys put it on your reel.
I'm not gonna put it on I'll put it on the Nexus.
Well, it would be on Nexus.
Yeah, that's what I mean. That's what I mean.
Be like, hey guys, look what I did.
Like, personally, I don't mind.
It's just a loop of that over and over again.
I don't mind all of us just taking credit for it too. Like, we all contributed to it. We can all put it on our reels.
And the thing is, every single one of us can do all those things.
Yeah.
Yeah. Exactly. It was funny. Yeah. It was really funny to me, like working on that shot, because the whole time I was tweaking things and I was working on it, but you guys did most of the design work. But I still felt like somehow I'd made it. It's like that meme where someone, passes the other. Like,
I made this.
I made this. You made this. I made this. Yeah. I was having those feels, and that was weird because that's the first time I've felt like that, because it was an instance where I could have made all of those things. It was using a lot of the same techniques from my tutorials too, with the plant life and all that stuff and art directing, all that, but I didn't actually do it. I was just like, do something like this, and then you guys did it, so it was very weird for me.
Well, even like some of the stuff we've been working on lately, like sports package stuff we've been doing, and Phil's been super involved in that with us, and it's like, well, of course, like you're gonna want to put that stuff on your reel, but yeah, we'll probably put it on ours too. I mean, it was through Nexus as well.
Yeah.
As we were like art directing or communicating with the client or whatever it is. That one was Matt. That's what Matt was doing while I was working with you. But
straight up, I'd make stuff that goes on the reel too.
Totes.
But yeah, again, like I feel like.
But it is funny. Yeah. I'm having like this crisis because up until now my reel has been stuff that I've made 100% solo. Right. And it's like that's the theme of the reel, and I don't have to like go and explain this was this and this was this and this was this.
Yeah.
So if I put that on my reel, I'm just gonna pretend that I did it myself. So screw you guys now.
It's funny. Like, we all come out with demos at the same time, and they all have the same thing in them. It's gonna be like, wait a minute.
Yeah,
we're all bidding on the exact same job, and our demo reels are almost entirely the same.
Yeah. Right.
Yeah.
Hilarious.
The curse of working together too much, I guess.
Yep.
Well, the other topic you had in here was recent TV shows, because we've done our Brograph recommends. I'm sorry, our Mograph recommends with you. This is way back in the day.
This is because I've been so damn lazy lately, and Chelsea and I have been like, the post NAB haze. We've just been watching tons of TV shows. Even during NAB, we were like, gotta go see Mr. Robot. We would like take Mr. Robot breaks in between things. We skipped the Media Motion Ball to watch some Mr. Robot.
Is there new Mr. Robot out?
No, I just never seen it before. Oh, okay. It was a show that I'd never gotten to, and it's like one of the best shows I think I've seen in years.
Great.
I watched season 1.
Mm-hmm.
I enjoyed it. I got halfway through season 2, and like it's just like there's a point in both season 1 and season 2 where you just feel kind of beat down by the show, and you're like, come on, get to the point.
Yeah,
you know. And so I kind of stopped in the middle of season 2. I hear it's good, but I don't know.
Yeah, 3 was great.
Maybe I finished 2 and just didn't get to 3. I don't remember.
You should keep going. It's really good.
Yeah.
But the cinematography is crazy. How they like isolate everyone and they short frame the characters. Do you guys know that term?
Oh yeah. So like this would be my shot. Wait. Yeah. Turn this way.
Get to the side.
Go down here.
There.
I'm
yes.
Here talking to somebody. Yeah. Turn to the side.
So for the people that can't see, it's like when an actor, for instance, an actor's facing camera left. And they're also on the left side of the frame, so they're facing the end of the frame, so it feels claustrophobic. And they would have these. Everybody's in a single shot. There's almost never a 2-shot where you see both characters. You know how most conversations are like over the shoulder, so it feels like you're including both characters in a single shot, and you have an idea of the geometry of the place. In this case, there's just single shots of each character, even if they're like just separated by a few inches. You don't know that because they're in their own little world and pressed up against the side of this box. So that's one thing they would do. And then so many shots, they also had tons of headroom, which makes it feel like the world is weighing down on the characters. So like, you'd be in these corporate environments and you see all of these like just ceiling lights and corporate grossness, and the person's like this itty bitty like in the bottom of the frame. And I don't know, it's like it makes sense for the show. They develop their own visual language, and it's kind of disorienting, and it's it goes against usual film.
What you learn in school. It's like, what is
you
this?
learn to do.
Turns out they just had a really crappy camera guy.
Right. And I think that
he was a savant.
He was just a bad camera guy all along.
Yeah, they just hired some high schooler, and he was like, "What do you do with this?"
And then everyone's like, "This is genius.
It's art.
Yep.
It's art."
Yeah.
So I think that's a good example of like unique cinematography. But then like when I think of like I don't know if you guys saw The Handmaid's Tale, which by the way I freaking hate that show.
Really?
I hated it.
I haven't seen it. I've heard good things, but like
I feel like it's just like take every feminist nightmare that our society is going to slip extra backwards and multiply that by 1,000,000, and like totally over the top paranoid material made by social justice warriors. Like nothing wrong with being a social justice warrior, but when you just take it that far, it just felt gross to me. And like the main character,
saying like to the point where you don't think society would ever actually go.
No, it's so unrealistic and just like this paranoid material in my mind. It's almost like it felt like propaganda to me in a weird way.
I see what you're I see what you're saying. I see what you're saying on that, because there's like I really like Madam Secretary, but it's very obvious that there are agendas that are being pushed into it. Like the other day, like they were spouting off all of these statistics and all this stuff about climate change, and I'm like, somebody's just feeding them all these climate change talking points into their TV show. And while it's great to have that in there, it really, really, really felt fake and pushed, and
right,
like there's an agenda and they don't really care about the story. They're just trying to propagandize.
Exactly. And also, like, I just felt like it just gave me a gross feeling, and not in a good way. Like some shows kind of keep you on this edge of tension, and like Mr. Robot's kind of like that, where, you know, you feel for the characters and things are really bad and it gets worse and then it gets better and whatnot. But in this case, I don't know. It's just like the main character just felt creepy and manipulative to me, even though she's like the underdog and in this extremely oppressive society. She just felt so manipulative and gross in her own way that I could never like root for her. And the funny thing about the cinematography in this one is it felt like so weird, like early 2000s, where DSLRs first came on the scene and we discovered how to do extreme shallow depth of field for the first time. So all the shots are like low on wide angle lenses and up her nose with her stank face while she's like awkwardly staring off in the distance for too much time, like all in this uncomfortable shallow focus. It's like, why? I don't understand the cinematography decisions. Like, and yeah, it goes against the grain and it has a consistent visual language, but it's not one that I like or I think aids the story. It's like, we're trying to make this character look ugly. Like, let's make her look just as ugly as possible. Like, and Chelsea says this hilarious thing.
It's not flattering for her. A lot of the shots are not flattering for her.
So unflattering. And Chelsea calls it, you know how they're like, what's the catchphrase? Like in his eye or something, or under his eye. Chelsea goes up her nose.
That's funny.
Yeah. Yeah. Anyway,
Bob
that's my rant
Walmsley
on that.
said same thing happened with him with Mr. Robot that happened to me, where he just kind of and he mentioned the OA. Now, Dave, you really like the OA,
Chelsea
right?
started watching that. That's good, right?
He said loved season 1 but watched season 2 and spent most of the time looking at my phone. Like, here's the OA is weird.
I'm the same way. I'm the same way.
Yeah.
Season 2 started and I was just I phased out. I don't know. I just stopped watching it.
I don't know. I thought it was weird. Like, I watched the first episode or first couple episodes, and it's like, I can't get into this at all. Like, it starts off in one place and then goes somewhere else, and it's just like, all right, I don't get it.
Bob Walmsley is the X-Particles dude, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, I didn't get to say hey to you, dude, at NAB, but I really wanted to. And he's doing some really amazingly good tutorials for Insidium. Yeah. I just discovered, like, I think Glenn, who's also on the chat, like, sent me a couple of those the other week, and they've got some really good content, like doing some particle advection and really complex stuff in X-Particles that, I think would supplement the GSG training series really well. So that's another one that I really want to get into. Sorry, I'm totally derailing us off of
it's
TV
fine.
shows.
I like Bill's comment. Oh way, more like no way. Am I right?
There you go.
Bob Walmsley. Not to be confused with Tom Bosley, which the names you could easily mix the Bob Tomsley, Bob Walmsley, Tom.
Okay.
All right.
So did you guys watch Game of Thrones last night? Do either of you guys watch Game of Thrones?
We shouldn't
I'm not going to spoil anything. No, I'm not going to. This is not.
Here's the thing. Like, I haven't seen Endgame, and I haven't watched even a single episode of Game of Thrones.
What?
Well, yeah. Well, here's the thing. So with me, when there are TV shows out, like, I really don't like watching them in real time. I like binging. You know?
Yeah.
And so with Game of Thrones, it's the same with The Walking Dead, right? I haven't seen a single episode of The Walking Dead because I wanted to wait until it was over. But now enough people have said, "Oh, Walking Dead has gone to crap. I don't even watch it anymore."
Because you don't want another Lost situation.
Right? Yeah. Exactly.
Yeah.
I invested my life into Lost, and I got burned hard.
Yeah.
So like. I'm on Reddit or something last night, and someone was like, "Oh, Game of Thrones is basically just Lost," and starts showing these characters side by side. And I was like, "Oh, I think I'm out. Yeah. But I'm waiting until it ends. If everyone says it's the best TV show ever made, I'll watch it.
Yeah. You know? But this is not any spoiler that I was going to say about Game of Thrones. This is another comment about cinematography. Mm-hmm. They went with this episode. It all takes place in the night. And
you're giving it all away.
And I think it was a huge mistake in terms of cinematography. Like, it would have worked in like the theater, But watching it on any streaming platform, it got so bandy and compressed looking. You couldn't make out a damn thing that was going on the whole episode. So Chelsea and I we were like, is this because we're on Amazon? Like, did they just jack the quality? So I went and ordered a free trial of HBO Now, and it was exactly the same. And then I went and pirated an episode. I was like, all right, that's it. And I downloaded a 5 gig, high quality 1080p one, and it wasn't any better. The whole quality got wrecked, and it's so frustrating for all the people that
it wasn't better on that, dude.
No,
really,
it was. I maybe didn't find the best quality version, but I was looking, and I feel like the only way to see that episode properly would have been seeing a ProRes insanely 180 gig. For the artists working on it probably looks sick, because when you take things really low. I know, but I'm saying when they were working on it, it probably looked amazing. I can imagine in theaters that looking amazing. All of it super low light, just lit by fire or lit by, this overall ambient glow. And it's really cool in theory, but then there's all this high frequency noise and detail because they're in a snowstorm and the snow is whipping through everywhere.
Oh, awful. So you got tons of compression and stuff like that.
Exactly.
You think HBO would know that ahead of time, considering their whole intro is the static that just doesn't work anymore?
Right. You would think that they would look at their delivery medium, which is TV and streaming platforms. Maybe it looked good on cable. I don't know. But the data rate wasn't high enough, and everything was just banding and mud, and it was really frustrating to watch. Yeah.
Well, that's been my beef with HBO in general, is I feel like they have some of the worst compression out of the different services that I have. And so even just the regular things that I'm watching on HBO streaming have had such terrible banding.
Yeah.
Raid Zero says he changed his TV to day monitor mode. Bill said even live on HBO it was banding.
Wow. So. Dang. Yeah, my mom says, you guys are so picky, lol.
I would like to announce the newest podcast that me and Billy are doing. It's once Game of Thrones is over, we're going to watch the entire series of Game of Thrones from the end backwards.
Nice.
And podcast it.
Brilliant.
Yep.
All right, then.
By the first episode, you might understand what's going on.
I think I've seen the first episode.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah, I can join in with you on that.
What is banding? Okay, Mom. Banding is when it the colors get very I don't know what the word is, solid. So you see lots of stair stepping and
it's artifacting.
It's artifacting.
Mom, I'm doing a podcast.
Mom. God, it's when they're not using 16-bit color, all right? Duh. Yeah.
Talking to my friends. God.
I'm talking to my friends. So there's compression. There's compression, which is blockiness, and there's banding, which is stripes. It almost looks like Dr. Seuss,
posterization.
I don't know. Posterization, or just looks like stripes of color, basically.
Yeah.
Anyway,
not enough mid colors.
Right.
Like an 8-bit project in After Effects when you try and put a gradient on something, a radial gradient.
Yeah.
My mom's like, oh, so that's why someone posted that the color corrector guy needed to be fired. I don't even think it was the color corrector guy. I think it was how it was shot. Yeah. It was shot with very extremely dark or no lighting, which just doesn't. That's one of the pitfalls or one of the danger zones of digital, especially streaming content. That's where compression algorithms try to hide. The compression is in the blacks, and everything was dark. There was no range to the shots, and on top of that, when you've got those snowstorms and millions of fog elements everywhere, it just turns to complete mud, because that also drives up the detail, and the compression algorithms are focusing on the wrong things. They're focusing on these snowy particles, and rather than the army that you're supposed to see through the particles. So yeah,
that's why we need AI.
Welcome to this week's segment called I explain to my mom how my job is. What my job is.
This is a genius podcast, all right? This is very good content right now.
So what do you think about the effects on the show? Because I've seen some of the effects in passing when it's on TV and whatnot. And do you feel like the effects are pretty good? Or do you feel like some of the compositing green screening stuff is a little...
No, I haven't seen anything that's... it all looks photoreal to me. It's all... the dragons especially are
there are dragons.
It's more like it's more like the compositing of the green screen.
I haven't noticed anything really that bad, honestly. I feel like they put so much money and effort into it. It's not going to be bad.
Maybe just being in the industry is ruined
their most popular show right now, right?
Probably.
It's their big moneymaker.
Oh yeah.
I think they said that a lot of people like sign up for HBO as soon as it comes out and then cancel their subscription the second it's over.
Yeah. That's why they tried to put something on Sundays at that time that's really good when it's not playing anymore. You know, which they did a good job. I'm telling you.
Yeah.
See, Phil agrees with me. He said it's movie quality, and I completely agree.
Oh, it's definitely movie quality. I just, there's some movies that look better than others.
And Sage said it's the most expensive TV show ever made.
Like Wonder Woman, for example,
they
had
filmed
just the
this battle.
worst compositing I've ever seen. But
that's DC movies in general, though.
Yeah.
Hey, Shazam was good though. That was DC movie.
Yeah.
And I enjoyed Aquaman. I was entertained.
By what?
Aquaman. It was entertaining.
Oh.
Yeah, you gotta go into that movie thinking, I'm just gonna kind of let it go.
Take some gummies.
Take some gummies. There you go. That's funny.
At any point in Aquaman, does he surf on 2 dolphins?
Oh yeah, one on each foot.
Perhaps.
Yeah, one on each. Does he really?
No, I don't know. But there are scenes close to that in nature for sure that are hilarious and epic. Yeah. But so moving on to another TV show. Have you guys seen Russian Doll?
No, I hear good things about it.
I hear good things, yeah.
Check that out. That's on Netflix. Super binge-worthy.
When I was falling asleep one night.
I want to watch season 2 of Discovery. So last year
Star Trek Discovery, I could not get into it.
Oh, it's so good.
That's what I keep hearing. But
here's the thing.
And I can get through the first few episodes.
Here's the thing. It's extremely well done. It is a beautiful show. I don't feel like it hits on the same core values and stuff as well as like Next Generation or Voyager or something, but it is still an excellent show.
It's not those values because they hadn't developed the values of the Federation.
No,
yet.
this if I understand it correctly, it is the okay. It's during the same time period as Kirk and Spock. I mean,
Grant
just brought up the Orville.
Boy.
We've gone so far off track. Everything's over now.
Dave's about to get
Let me tell you about
Drunk Dave.
Let me tell you.
Wait, real quick. Discovery.
Okay, yeah. Sorry, go ahead.
I just wanted to say I do not like the title sequence for that show.
Oh yeah. No, you want to talk about terrible Star Trek title sequences? Let's talk about the Enterprise. Let's talk about Enterprise. It's the worst. That is the biggest piece of crap I've ever seen in my life. All right. That is one giant steaming pile of turds.
All right. I'll look. Anyway, talk about the Orville, Dave.
No emotion.
Talk about the.
All right. Let me tell you guys something about the Orville. Let me tell you something.
You guys.
The Orville
the best show.
Okay, Grant.
Guys, the Orville.
The Orville. You don't even know.
Bro, come on.
Bro.
You gotta watch the Orville, bro.
Watch the Orville, bro. This is some of the best, bro.
I can't do the smacky motion on, because I'm not there with you guys, but Beeple's a smacker.
And he's like, yeah, bro.
Bro, no, dude. He hits you a bunch of times.
Bro.
So Grant said Orville kicked ass this past season. I'm sad it's done. Me too. Just finished the season finale last night, and man, the stories are absolutely great because they're kind of doing stories that Next Generation would still be doing if it were around right now. But then they're adding their side humor, but they don't try and go too far with the humor. I think sometimes it's a little cheesy and cornball in the humor, but it's almost an endearing thing because like the rest of it is actually a really good story and actually has decent special effects for the most part.
Yeah,
now,
for sure.
I saw some shots of snow in the last episode of this season from above. Like there were some blasts where there was some snow that was supposed to be, poofing up in the blasts, and it looked really bad. It was like it was a snow blast, and to make them fade, they just faded out the transparency of the blast. It didn't really dissipate the way it was supposed to. And so there are some things, but I think what happens is they run out of effects budget because I I'm telling you, there's the battle scene in the two-parter that's in the middle of the season.
This is like the 5th time I've heard about this battle scene.
Epic, and I'm waiting for you guys to see it because I was
the battle scene in the Orville.
Look, I want to get there organically. I want to watch through the first season and get there like in a natural way rather than just watching the battle sequence.
Yeah, Chelsea brought up the story you told us this morning about the Orville.
All right, so I think like I can tell this story since we live in California.
Keep in mind, your mom's on.
I don't care. Weed is legal. My mom and I smoked weed in the Netherlands, all right? So she's fine. So we went to a dispensary a couple weeks ago on a whim and bought for us what is a lifetime supply of weed. Because we don't do this very often, but I think NAB corrupted us. Like everybody, like Vegas, everybody's popping gummies.
There. It's insane.
Yeah, it was ridiculous. What?
What?
So yeah, the other night, Chelsea and I ate a gummy, and it takes like, I don't know, an hour and a half to sink in or something. Yeah. And I was like, oh crap, I got to get all my work done before this thing hits because I'm gonna be screwed.
It's like a countdown.
Where am I gonna be when the drugs kick in?
Exactly. Yeah. And I was like starting to feel it, and she was like, babe, are you feeling it? And sent me this gif of like some guy's eyes popping out. I'm like, yeah. And she was like, come watch the Orville. And we start watching. And like 5 minutes in, there's this guy like talking about he's basically like the Worf character that's sitting there gonna lay.
Oh yeah.
So he's like talking about laying an egg, and we're cracking up. And she's like, "Why is this episode of Star Trek so stupid?" And I'm like, "Cause it's the Orville." And she's like, "Oh."
Oh my god.
So funny.
Oh man.
Yeah. So anyway, we've lost a lot of brain cells recently.
You know what's the funny thing about that whole egg thing is it actually like comes back around in other episodes to their child.
I love
and
the fact
that
he has to sit on his egg. I think that is so funny. He is one of my honestly, I love that show and I love those characters. It all of them are so unique and so great.
And it comes back around like almost as like a social commentary. It's almost like backwards homosexualism or homosexuality when it comes back around, because that race of people are all male, and there's those people that every once in a while are female or have or are attracted to females. So it's like reverse,
which is the weird thing.
Yeah,
that's interesting.
There's some great stuff in there.
Yeah, it's really good. The I love some of the shout outs to Star Trek, like the episode where they had to go back to Solaris or whatever, because the security officer was going back home. And so they brought on 2 of the doctors from Star Trek series. They had the holographic doctor from Voyager, and they had Dr. Phlox from Enterprise, and they were both on the same episode. I think it was awesome.
I think Odo from Deep Space Nine was in it at one point. A lot of the admirals are in it. Who is Ted Danson is an admiral in it, and
Archer, isn't Archer like the Captain Archer from Enterprise?
Oh, I thought you
meant
Scott
Bakula. Was he in that? Isn't he in that?
I remember Scott Bakula being in it.
All right, nerds, let's reel this in.
But I will say that they had Deanna Troi, Counselor Deanna Troi from Next Generation.
Oh, yeah?
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
Damn, Deanna Troi.
That's so funny. So let's reel it back in.
All right.
Other shows. But no, I like the show. I like the thing about the shows because we're talking about cinematography.
Right? Yeah.
And so that is something to watch in all of this stuff, because even with something like the Orville, you're watching their cinematography. It may not necessarily, most of the shots aren't really anything crazy ridiculous, not like Game of Thrones or something. But, they have a healthy VFX budget. I wonder if all those space shots are done in Lightwave. I wonder if that's still the golden standard. Man, I was wondering about that.
Yeah. I feel like there's a whole niche of the market that's just doing space battles, and all those artists still use Lightwave or something. It's so weird.
They have kind of a recurring thing too with like the style that they use for their lenses in there too. It's like there's a dirty lens, and you get these light flares on the lens a lot, where you looks like there's dust on the lens.
Right, and then they've got the They've got the crash zooms. That was kind of started in Battlestar Galactica.
Mm-hmm.
Bears beats
Battlestar Galactica. It's ridiculous.
You know how they like try to make it feel more of a realistic camera move by doing these crash zoom and then like searching around for the ship, like kind of finding it and little rack focus here and there and whatnot. Yeah.
Yeah. The other thing about that is they've tried a bunch of different types of cameras too. Camera like placements like on different vehicles. Like it's like they're attaching the camera to certain things, and like the one I saw yesterday was not like nobody's ever thought of this before, but it just seemed
all right.
unique
Grant's
to the show.
Grant's correcting me with his nerdiness. He says crash zooms were started in Firefly.
I feel like you need to say it in a little bit nerdy.
All right,
voice. Excuse me. Crash zooms were started in Firefly,
David.
Actually.
Well, whenever something like that happens,
winky face. Just
you don't understand why a wizard did it.
A wizard did it. Because of time travel.
The shot that they had was the shuttle, and it was going into warp, but they had the camera stuck to the side of the shuttle facing backwards. So you saw it enter backward, and it was like simple shot, but like they're trying all these different shots in space and just trying to mix it up, and anyway.
I feel like we should just jam through the rest of these because like we're already so long show.
Let's do it.
All right, anyway,
Oh wait, you have more shows?
Yeah, dude.
Yeah, we had this.
I'm just gonna name them real quick. I'm not even gonna say anything about them. Over the Garden Wall, really cute cartoon show. Like I don't know, just a single season, amazing animation, super weird vibes and whatnot. Outlander is Chelsea got me into that. It's like an epic chick flick type show, basically. So your wives will love it. It's basically a period piece inside of a period piece. So it starts out in the 40s in Scotland, where the main character Claire is with her husband doing research on Scotland's history, and they find this circle of stones where some women are having this ritualistic dance, and later that night she goes solo and touches the stones, and then that teleports her back to Scotland in the 1700s. So it's this epic time travel romance love story.
Because of time travel
that takes place in the 1700s. But it's actually really epic. Like the production values and cinematography are extremely gorgeous, and yeah, it's definitely fun. It's kind of like Game of Thrones, but with more meaning. Let's see. One Punch Man. I don't usually like anime, but this one's super hilarious. Have you guys heard of this one?
I've heard of it. I've heard it's very good.
It's basically like this superhero or this that's trained so hard that he goes bald, and he's just bored at how powerful he is now. So he's always looking for a fight that'll be an actual challenge. Okay. So he's constantly like disappointed, and he has way more problems with like everyday mundane tasks like getting groceries than anything else. And like there's like this weird ranking system for the superheroes, and he realizes that he's not even on the rankings, even though he's the most powerful one. So he's like working up through the baby ranks to try to get, and like following all the rules to try to get actually recognized.
I'm interested.
Yeah.
What is that on?
It's on Netflix. It's like an anime that makes fun of other anime conventions, and I would actually watch it dubbed because it's actually the voices are actually really good and entertaining. Okay. So don't go for the subtitled one. Let's see. We already talked about Maniac on the show, which is awesome. Mm-hmm. We've probably already talked about The Good Place because
that's Robots.
Really good. Yeah.
Love, Death, and Robots. I felt like, I mean, there were some episodes that were pretty good, but I felt like Love, Death, and Robots was just trying too hard to be like, it's adult. We've got sex. We've got boobs. We've got violence. Like everything had to like shoehorn in violence. Like that was the premise for the whole show. I feel like
the first one shouldn't have been that one.
Which one?
It was the first one was just so violent.
All of them were.
So well,
the only one that wasn't was like the one. I mean, I haven't seen the whole series, so I can't say that. But the only episode 2 where they're like, that was the most charming one. I felt like where they're just kind of exploring. Robots. Yeah, the cutesy robots exploring the post-apocalyptic world with cats.
Yeah,
cool.
Brooklyn Nine-Nine. I've finally been jamming through that. Of course. Pushing Daisies. Did you guys ever see that back in the day?
Yes.
Love that show. Good. But now it's back on Amazon. Dave, you should check it out.
It's back on Amazon?
It's on Amazon.
Wait, not new episodes though, right?
No. Sorry.
Oh,
I mean, like,
okay. I was about to say.
Show
I was really sad they canceled that. That was during the big writer's strike, and they were one of the ones that just got beat to hell because of it.
Right.
Yeah.
Yeah. I don't know. Yeah, I mean, maybe it ended early because of that, but I felt like it was solid all the way through. Right?
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know. I haven't seen how it ends.
Wait, Pushing Daisies?
Yeah.
Oh.
Yeah, I know. Just you haven't seen the end of season 2 or what?
I haven't seen. I don't think so.
Oh, okay. All right, you should go back.
I'll watch it.
Watch
okay.
it. But anyway, it's got like the best production design ever and like the quirkiest, most
really
charming.
Does. Yeah.
Like even today, like watching it again, and I hadn't seen it for like 10 years, and we were rewatching it for Cyrus. But Dave, the premise is that this kid discovers he can bring people and animals back to life. But on the first touch, he gives them life, and then on the second touch, they go back to being dead. And if he brings someone or something back to life, and more than a minute passes, then something else dies in its place. So it sounds
something
like
of the same amount of like
humanity or whatever.
Oh,
so if
okay.
it's
so
like
if it's a
squirrel,
bird,
then a bird will
then
die
like
in its place.
a lizard
like a
or
karma.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Right. Yeah. So it sounds dark, but it's actually upbeat and cheery, even though there's like a theme of death throughout.
The set design on that is absolutely
it's so good.
Gorgeous.
And like some of the green screen looks really cheesy by today's standards, but they did amazing with what they had at the time.
Yeah.
The costumes are so good, but
yeah.
But anyway, the premise is he ends up bringing back his childhood sweetheart who's just been murdered, but they can never touch or kiss, because
if he ever touches that thing that he brought back to life,
Right.
it
She'll die.
dies. Yeah.
So there's all this like weird, awesome tension, and it's like adorable and curious. Yeah.
The best kind of tension.
Yeah, totally.
Is it though?
Anyway, Umbrella Academy, that was super entertaining, superhero fare, but like all of the characters are more like vulnerable than your typical Marvel heroes, so I definitely recommend that one. I think that's most of them. We're starting to watch Fargo, which is good. Yeah.
Here's a good one for you. For if you just want to like watch something super ridiculous, the Captain Underpants TV show, like it is so good. It's so funny and so like stupid good. Like I watched it with Gibson, and it's like it's one of those shows where I actually want to watch, and they'll do different things. They'll like do different types of productions. First they'll do 2D, and then they'll switch over to claymation or stop motion and stuff like that.
Is a lot of 3D?
No, it's all 2D. It's all
maybe I'm
flat.
looking at like the movie or something.
The movie was 3D, and the movie actually was excellent.
Okay,
It was very, very good. Like for what it is. I mean, you hear Captain Underpants, you think, oh, this is probably super stupid. So I had zero expectations going into it, but it was an excellent movie. Yeah. The TV show is just as good as the movie. There's this one part where they break the fourth wall a couple of times, and they're talking about how they're running out of budget for all this stuff, and so the production value keeps getting crappier and crappier as they go along in this gigantic fight sequence.
That reminds me of an episode of Key and Peele, where they've got like a music video and they've got a budget counter on the bottom right that's going down, and it gets more and more backyard. It starts out with drones and all this epic stuff, and then as the budget gets lower, it like switches to like DV cameras and like cardboard cutouts in front of the. Yeah,
this whole one was stop motion. They went into like claymation type stuff,
right?
And they're starting out and they're like, oh, we got to get this fast. He's like, why? It's because it's costing us a lot of money per second to do this. Oh no, see this, and then they eventually just end up as these little round blobs of like
That's
clay.
Hilarious. That's awesome.
It's a really really good show. I mean, of course, it has tons of fart jokes and poop jokes and stuff like that, But it's a very good show.
The one show I didn't mention, This Is Us. Have you guys heard of this?
That's the one that makes everyone cry.
It makes you cry so bad.
Dude,
yeah,
no,
Chelsea and I like binge watched it, and we were pretty depressed for like weeks. But also, it makes you feel the feels like more than any other show.
The last show that I did like that was Grey's Anatomy.
Does that make you cry?
Oh my gosh, there was a season where so many children were dying.
Oh no!
And I was just like, it was like 5 episodes in a row, because like you expect like on some of these medical shows that like most of the time these people make it, right?
Yeah.
But there were like 4 episodes where like kids were just dying, and there was nothing you could do. And so I'm like just bawling my eyes out, and I'm like, I can't do Grey's Anatomy anymore.
Yeah. Usually people don't die that often on those shows. It's kind of like, you have your like House, which I'm just gone and completely rewatched from beginning to end because I freaking love House.
Well, This Is Us is interesting because even
the writing is so
formulaic.
This Is Us is interesting because there's no discernible or there's multiple like time periods. It's like slices of time from this one family's life, and you know the whole time that the dad has died, but you don't know how, and they like work up to it over the course of 2 seasons and like feed you little bits and pieces more, and you come to love him more and more, and then like when he actually dies, it's the most devastating moment ever. But then like he's still there in the show like for the rest of the time, because there's still always like constant flashbacks to their life. It's not even flashbacks, it's like there's no real like it's interesting because there's no real fixed time, like, and it even goes into the future at some point, and there's just like, but they can keep pulling more and more emotion out of different moments in this family's life. It's pretty interesting.
I can't do it.
I'm
already too much of an emotional mess as it is right now. You know, that if I start watching sad shows,
right, I hear you.
I don't know.
Well, definitely don't binge it. We were dumb and we binged it, and those were some rough.
How many seasons are there?
Like 3, and there's a lot of episodes, and it's emotionally draining after a while. But here and there, it's great. And then The Rookie is like this addictive, like popcorn cop show that we love. It's like kind of a guilty pleasure, but it's really fun. Have either of you guys seen The Expanse? I could not get into that. It's supposedly a really good sci-fi show. It's a sci-fi show. And remember, you guys weren't at Motion Plus Design, but one of the speakers directed the title sequence. Joyce Ho, I think. She's really awesome. Australian, just really smart person. But so I love the title sequence, but I couldn't get into the show. It was just really weird. But I think it's one of those things where, like, if you look on Rotten Tomatoes, the first season, it's like 78% or something, like relatively low. And then the next 2 seasons are like 100%. But then it's like, how do you get through that first season? You have to like suffer through, you know?
Yeah.
Anyway, that's about it. Other than I never gave a little spiel about Russian Doll, but it's like only like 8 episodes, and it's like super
and you've been watching a lot of TV lately.
Okay, this is over the past like 6 months. I'm just like aggregating it.
But still, like over the past 6 months, I have watched Parks and Rec and 30 Rock, and that's
love Parks and Rec. I haven't seen 30
good.
Rock.
You should watch.
You haven't seen 30 Rock?
No.
Oh man, it's so good.
Nice.
Did you like? Did you watch Kimmy Schmidt, Unbreakable Kimmy Schmidt?
Yeah, I liked that. Though it got kind of lame towards the end.
Yeah,
have you watched the last like 6 episodes or whatever of the 4? Yeah, so 4th season really didn't like the first half, right? But it gets really good. I actually just watched it the other day, and I got to tell you, I had a few tears. Nice. I was really sad. Like, it was very touching. Cool. I liked the ending. That the last episode was really good.
Cool.
Yeah.
Anyway,
but you should watch it because I the last 6 episodes of the series were really good.
I'll just watch the last 6.
Well, I mean, if you haven't seen, it's fine. Whatever.
No, I mean, I don't know. Maybe I will.
So Russian.
Did you get to the Mikey and Titus episodes?
I can't remember. I felt like the show just started to get
Mikey was the construction worker.
Yeah.
That Titus fell in love with.
Yeah, I saw those.
Okay.
The show just started to get annoying to me after a while. Like, it wasn't that funny anymore.
Yeah. So what about so the rest of Russian Doll then?
Yeah. Okay, so it's like a Groundhog Day concept where it's this selfish New York woman, and she's kind of like, kind of gross person, but like, and just kind of very selfish. But she dies, and she's reliving the same day over and over, and dying every time in different hilarious / messed up ways. But then as the show progresses, she's like trying to find a way out of this time loop, of course, like any Groundhog Day concept, but it starts to like, things start to deteriorate, and fewer people are there, and like objects are changing, and it's all just like, it feels like, there's this impending doom unless she like figures out how to get herself out of this. And then I'm not going to give it away, but it's like really dark and funny, but ends up being super uplifting by the end of it.
Okay.
Yeah, definitely one of the best. I'd say like up there with Maniac and Mr. Robot, like one of the best TV shows I've seen in years.
Well, before you throw out your HBO subscription at the end of Game of Thrones, you should totally check out Succession, because I'm really
and
excited
Leaving
about
Neverland.
Season 2. And
Leaving Neverland on HBO. Man, that was
hardcore.
Yeah.
Ooh, man.
That'll make you really,
What's
especially when
Neverland?
You have kids. Leaving Neverland. It's the documentary about Michael Jackson and stuff like that. Hardcore.
We just watched the Mr. Rogers documentary.
Oh yeah. Where is that? Is that out? I want to see that.
It's on Amazon. I think we rented it.
Oh, okay.
But it's good. It's really good. Yeah.
I was waiting for that. I didn't realize it was already out. So.
Yeah.
All right. So, I guess we should move on and do some links.
Sure.
Let's do it.
Short show, right?
Short show.
Later, Bob.
So here's Dave's links for today. Now, it's mostly David's links, but I guess the jingle will work.
It works.
Right? It works.
Yeah.
I love these shows. It's basically the David show. I can just sit back and not do anything.
That's not true.
But I don't have that much in some of these we already talked about. But the first thing that I do have on my list, though, is...
Raid Zero's Castle.
Phil, dude, this was so awesome.
Phil's Castle.
Phil's Castle.
He's a master of compositing.
Anybody? No?
Now, this is a mix of photo and 3D.
Yeah.
Right.
But he matched the lighting so good.
Right.
And the perspective. And he's a master at Photoshop.
Yeah. Can you show the original?
Just swipe over one. Hit that little arrow.
Is it here? Oh.
It's there.
Oh, I see. Because of the dingus. I don't know
the
how
dingus.
The Instagram.
So that's the original.
That's the original.
Man. Yeah, so
Dude's
check
amazing.
him out on Instagram. Check these out. These
Raid
chess
Zero.
pieces out.
With the zero.
Totally awesome.
Yeah.
All right. Other things on the agenda. Some of these we talked about. Like I had the Mac monstrosity thing. Josh Johnson did something with Sia. Got a link to that. The show notes also already been chewed. There's an article called "No Ordinary Sales Pitch," and it's all about the astronaut ad that they did, the space thing they did.
That was such a good ad.
My goodness,
that was a great ad.
I haven't seen that.
Oh, you
Dave,
haven't
can you
seen
bring
it?
up the ad?
Yeah, I can bring it up. Hopefully, I don't get friggin' flagged for it.
You're gonna get flagged.
I mean, oops, brought up the wrong one. It's
okay. I mean, I can
fair
just
use. It's fair use, but we end up getting flagged for some of these. But here you go. So this is
pretty.
This is my favorite part right there. Yeah.
And I really like what they did.
Is this already been chewed? Did you guys already see it?
Yeah, this is
okay, I have seen this. It's so good. Yeah, okay.
It actually makes me kind of interested in what this product is. A little mini cam thing. That's pretty dope looking. Wonder how expensive that is.
I love when he taps the screen then. That's great.
Yeah, that's good too. Yeah. Now I'm assuming that was all Redshift because of that. So
yes.
Yeah, they seem to be mainly Redshift now.
Yeah. Yep. And so we're into yours. We talked about the Silverwing tutorial. Also, there's a new site called motiondesign.school.
Yeah. So this is cool. This opened up recently, and it's seems to be like a somewhat cheaper competitor to School of Motion, but it's got more C4D stuff. There's some really great courses, especially one by Michael Marczewski, who's one of my personal heroes. He did that robot short. What's it called? Let me look it up real quick. Michael Marczewski. It's called, I forget. I can't find it. There it is. Vicious Cycle. Did you guys ever see this one?
Mm-mm.
He's just a master at dynamics and the hinges and springs and all those kind of things in C4D. But look up Vicious Cycle. That's one of his best works. But he also has this crazy Instagram channel. But he's teaching a course called Infinite Crash, where he shows you how to this super awesome workflow for rigging up a legit ragdoll that simulates very quickly. So ragdolls, I feel are something, and I just talked to Ren about this actually. It's easy in 3ds Max. There's a much easier system to rig up a ragdoll. And they were doing, Ren and Corridor Digital were doing this Angry Birds video, and in the behind the scenes they were I can't figure out how to do the ragdoll, so they ended up just using Mixamo or some kind of animation of him flailing.
Right.
But anyway, this dude Michael Marczewski shows how to do it with.
I do know this stuff. I have seen all of these. Yeah.
Oh yeah.
Mm-hmm. But he uses the auto dynamics mode. You know how there's an automatic dynamics thing that usually doesn't work very well because it doesn't calculate the whole bounding box for an object. It doesn't calculate it in enough detail in C4D. Do you guys know what I'm talking about? Just with normal dynamics, put a rigid body tag on there, and a lot of the time it's not gonna calculate the entire the entire shape of the mesh. So usually you have to set it to moving mesh or something like that, right? Mm-hmm. But the thing is with moving mesh is it calculates so slow, and he makes he's like doing these sims with like tons of these ragdoll people and cars crashing and stuff. And for that, like, it's not feasible to have really slow moving dynamics. So he shows that if the automatic mode can't account for complex shapes, you can split up the geometry intelligently. You just literally split the shapes into multiple parts, and then each one then can collide properly. So like there's even a mode where you can view what the collision shapes are in C4D that I never knew about that he shows. So that's really cool.
Oh.
And then he like he stitches everything together with hinges and springs, as well as like fixed connectors with braking forces so that things can break off when they collide. So that's like another. So yeah, it was just a really good lesson in rigging things up. And then he does the same thing with a golf cart and puts this stormtrooper dude in the golf cart and has him sit down and gets them all crashing together in this infinite loop. So it's really clever stuff. Like one of the best C4D like small tutorial. Like it's maybe like 4 or 5 hours long total. So that's one of the master classes on that site. There's also a master class just on creating seamless looped animations Instagram style in general, which I found really fun and useful.
That's
with
nice.
lots of stuff on the formula object, which is there's how there's a formula effector, there's also a formula object that just kind of creates a spline. I've been checking all that stuff out, and also I signed up for the overall like intro to C4D class because 2 reasons. It had like
because you need to learn C4D. I
need to learn C4D, man. It's like I need to get to it. No, there's the promo animation for this course was really engaging and awesome, and kind of convinced me that there was going to be more than just basic stuff in there. And I looked through the lessons, and there's some stuff on hinges and a lot of other interesting dynamic stuff. So I did that. I bought it for that, but also because Chelsea and Cyrus have been starting to learn C4D with me. And that's been really fun. And so we've been slowly making our way through that course. And after that, we're going to move on. Cinnamon 4D. And after that, we're going to move on to EJ's course, which he graciously gave to me.
Oh, nice.
That's been really fun. And Cyrus like takes it up insanely fast and just asks tons of questions and like takes my. So when I like
in 1 year, he's going to know more than you do.
I know he's going to turk my gerb. Yeah, but and Chelsea's all like,
no, if anything,
Cyrus,
then you outsource
Houdini.
All the work to him.
I know, that's my whole plan.
Back.
That's actually literally my master plan is so I can rest on my laurels because I'm getting tired and I'm
becoming an old man in motion design.
I'm becoming an old man in motion design.
I've been in this for like 5 years.
Exactly.
You should teach him or get him going on like Houdini.
At least 8 years now.
At least 8.
But yeah, Houdini he'd probably be good at. But maybe this could be the family business, and I can just get lazy and give him all the jobs and make money off of him. This is good.
The American way.
Right? The American way. Yeah.
You must follow in my footsteps.
Follow in my footsteps, my son. But yeah, so when I'm teaching all like both of them together, it ends up being kind of a cluster because he just goes off on his own tangents and wants to like, he's like, how do I make this? How do I do this? I'm like, okay, this is not what we're doing at all, but here you go. And then Chelsea's like trying to follow along with the actual tutorial. So I end up like feeling really split because he's just going all crazy and, it's just funny. So it's almost more, a lot of the time it almost makes more sense to like have individual sessions with both of them. That was another funny thing. It's like Chelsea and I like, maybe a week ago took a gummy and like did C4D practice like super slowly, like, no, hit this button, no, you got to use this handle and make the cube bigger. Okay, wait,
let's check out X
particles. Yeah, totally. But it was really fun. Anyway, that's about it for motion design school.
You got a couple more here. One of them is Freight, which is a Vimeo staff pick, actually.
Oh my god. So yeah,
I love that we're 2 hours into this show and it was going to be a short show. Like I literally thought it was actually going to be under 2 hours.
I figured
it's just been a while, and I don't know. Ooh, you guys get me going, I guess.
Yeah. The nice part about this is apparently this is a 21 by 19 video because it fits perfectly.
Yeah, awesome. It does.
Yeah.
Oh man, that looks really good.
So
who did this?
Sava Zivkovic, and he's like my new Raoul Marx, basically. He did that Kit Bash 3D ad with like the crazy beautiful transitions.
No, I saw
probably
a different one this week. I don't think
Do you
it
know
was
the
that
the IFCC titles that he did with like that spaceship that has the crazy warp animation where it kind of like magically warps between environments? I don't know.
So, yes.
Okay, so Sava is, I'd say, like my favorite motion designer, or whatever you want to call it. I don't even, at this point, it's like cinematic 3D. You wouldn't even call this motion design. It's just like beautiful short films. So yeah, he, I guess, totally killed himself on this one with his team. They did all the motion capture in a motion capture studio or something like that, and just an insane undertaking. This one they actually used Redshift. They switched from Octane to Redshift, which makes me sad. Everybody's doing it, I guess.
Everybody's doing it.
Yeah.
Pretty.
Anyway, this one has a really cool story. Like the facial animation on that dude.
It's really nice.
Yeah, it's super insane.
Well, that's the thing that you notice in a lot of these things is there's some great videos, but everybody's face is always covered up with a mask or something because it's like, that's gonna be too hard. Yeah.
Again, I don't know how you deal with like him interacting with that prop and dragging it around and stuff. Like that seems really difficult. I guess you have a guy. Constraint tags. I guess you have I think they had a guy actually dragging, some prop, obviously, but then, replacing the prop.
Constraint tags IRL.
Anyway.
Yeah.
Super cool video. Check out the rest of Sava's work, though, because, like, especially, like, the Kit Bash ad is to me, like, a master course in really good transitions and match cuts. So, yeah. What else we got?
What else?
Do we have? There's Houdini Meatballs. Do you have that one?
Did you send me that one?
Maybe. I think so.
Is it I have V-Ray Houdini Beta.
Yeah, it's probably that link. Let's see.
Okay. What is the meatballs thing? I thought you were talking about actual meatballs.
Here, I'll put it in the dingus real quick. Yes. Copy this. Paste it. This one, like...
Oh, yeah, this is V-Ray Houdini. Yeah, okay, I did have this.
Have you seen this?
I haven't seen it, no.
Okay. Just so realistic looking. So many Sims overlapping.
Oh, so there's meatballs. Okay. That makes sense now. That V-Ray, though? Okay.
Yeah, so, the render engine doesn't matter so much. Like, what's amazing here is the simulation. Yeah.
Oh my gosh, dude. This is why. See, every time I see this stuff, this is why Houdini, I'm like,
I know.
Man. Yeah, Matt and Pickle Nick started to dive into something. Did you ever get a tutorial?
Yeah, actually. So we did. It was a very simple tutorial. It was like one of the first ones on the. Jeez, that's so nice. It's about like smoke. Just creating smoke, and having it interact with your scene. And I'll tell you, like, jumping into that, it felt as easy to create that as it does with normal like Turbulence FD. Like it was way simple to set up. It was just a couple of clicks of a button and it's like, all right, good to go. I've got smoke and I've got it interacting in my scene.
And I guess that's a question I got for you too, David. Like, are you looking to get into TFD more, or are you just gonna go straight to Houdini instead?
No, I'm definitely. I think I'm in the mindset of trying to do as much as possible in C4D because I think Houdini is just. I mean, maybe in like a year or two, but like for now, like I want to learn, like deep dive into X particles, like which has just got so much like ability.
So much.
And then same thing with TFD and Real Flow, and Marvelous Designer.
You're really good at X particles though, so.
I'm all right at it. There's a ton. I know how to do the basics of X particles well. Like I can do, a lot of stuff. But it's as deep as C4D in a lot of ways. Like look at what Mario makes. Like that kind of stuff looks like Houdini. And is beautiful. And like if I can do that in X particles, I'd much rather work in that environment.
But if you have a really good basic understanding of X particles, Real Flow and TFD are going to be pretty easy for you.
Yeah.
Cool.
You know,
Yeah, I just need to. The hard thing for me is like knuckling down and being disciplined. Like what I'm trying to do right now is every morning at least. Well, the past week and a half I've been off, which has been great, and I've been watching a lot of tutorials. But when client work jumps in there, it's hard to keep focused, you know, and prioritizing yourself is the hardest thing. So I'm trying to every morning for at least an hour or two just pick away at one thing. Right now it's modeling. I'm still slowly working through that, making it look great. 11. I'm a little more than halfway
as soon as
through.
You're feeling confident with it, it's like the world is going like this is where you bust out of the egg and you're like, I know it. I'm here.
That is kind of how it feels when you do stuff like this. It's like there isn't. I mean, there is a little bit like of gradual gains that you get from doing different projects and stuff, but I feel like a lot of times it is more like bursts of, oh, I'm up here now. Like I really stepped up.
Certain projects like contribute to those bursts and like will really push you hard and put you out of your comfort zone. You'll learn a ton really quickly. But then a lot of the time though on those projects, like you don't have the time to do the research and development that you want to. You don't have the time to learn new software. So like it's really difficult. It's like even or with a passion project too, like I want to get to the point where, you know, I can set aside a couple of hours every morning to do work for myself, whether that's training myself or creating a passion project. You know, it's like getting in the mindset of feeding yourself first, even if there's client work. You know, I think that's the next step for me for sure.
Well, we did our mental health day this last week after our conversation last week.
Dude, it was so nice.
It was nice, but the thing is, I can only take sitting around for so long, and so I decided
here's one of the problems
I decided to go do a project, which was the first rendition of the arcade thing that I showed earlier, the one that's going to be probably one of the last ones that we post. But when I sat down and I decided that I was going to do that, and I decided that this was going to be my day, and this is my mental health day, so I can do whatever I want. I can sit around and do nothing, or I could work on something for fun if I want, but none of the other stuff matters. The to-do list doesn't matter. The email doesn't matter.
Right.
The Slack messages don't matter. Something felt different, and I was able to just...
So what you're saying is actually taking a weekend or a day off. Normal people do.
Like a normal person.
Yeah, like a normal person.
But scheduling that... But I feel like a weekday is better for that, honestly.
I agree.
Cool.
You know, taking a weekday off, it allows you to get stuff done that you wouldn't normally get done. But here's one of the problems. Like, so, you know, my kid, he got out of school at 2:50 like he does every day. And it's like, I knew that I could only enjoy my time until 2:50.
Right.
So I had that lingering, you know,
deadline.
2:50's coming, 2:50's coming. You're going to have to go pick him up, you know?
That's why a weekend doesn't count. Like, even if you take
a weekend
it off,
doesn't count because you're spending your time with your wife and kids and stuff like that. You know,
fair enough.
It's a weekday. It's like it's all you, and you just get to chill and, you know, do nothing.
That's good. Yeah, totally.
Word.
But I think for me, like doing that, like trying to do 1 or 2 hours every day, regardless of how pressured I am. Because that way you're also picking away at something consistently. If it's just a single day a week that you're doing something, then you're not going to be able to ramp into it and then ramp out of it. You know?
It's like working out. If you work out every single day, you're going to start to see results.
Exactly.
You know?
Dem gains.
If you go once a week,
gains.
Nothing.
Yep.
Yeah.
All right. So next link,
BMO.
BMO 2.0. I just love the animation in this more than anything else. But also just the build up to the conclusion is hilarious.
It's very nice.
You guys have seen this one?
Yeah. You know what's funny is I saw the breakdown of this before I saw the actual thing.
Oh,
interesting. On the Octane Facebook or something like that. Yeah, this
is done
really well.
Little compositing work that they did on that button coming out, like the little 2D animation on top of the 3D is really great. And I love where he like spins around and shakes his booty. So cute.
And I like the battery thing at the beginning. I think on the behind the scenes there was a lot of that about the heaviness of the battery. You're in that macro world, but you know.
Right.
So that was pretty good.
And then here where like it all just ends in this like, you know, it's slow-mo and then it ends in this like anticlimactic shot of the batteries falling out like a toy, you know, would.
Yeah.
So good.
Love me some BMO.
Yep. All right, next, Westeros World. Did you get that one?
Its name was
I
BMO.
did.
It is BMO.
It's BMO.
Yeah.
Oh.
Yeah, but it's yeah. Does it stand for something?
I don't know.
Oh.
It's just Adventure Time, something.
Adventure Time. Do. Yeah.
Oh, Bank of Montreal.
Oh, of course.
Of course.
All right. So what's this next one?
Westeros World. So this guy spent like 8 months painstaking recreating the Westworld titles and pretty much nailed it. But as a Game of Thrones, mashup. So like,
oh my god,
it's beautiful. And
was
yeah,
it Octane?
Yeah, it's Octane.
Yeah.
Pretty sure.
Wow, dude. Yeah, I hadn't seen this. When did this come out? Was it recently?
3 weeks ago.
Wow.
Oh my gosh, that's pretty painstaking.
Yeah, software used After Effects, C4D, Photoshop, Illustrator, Substance Painter, ZBrush, Fusion 360, DAZ 3D, 3D rendered, 3D rendered in Octane. Super cool.
Wow.
But the dragon shot, man. Look at that cloth.
Like the cloth.
The hair.
Yeah.
There's the dragon
really
egg.
Yeah.
And he also, like, I don't know who he got to do the sound, whether he did it himself, but if you hear the sound, it's like this crazy mashup of the Game of Thrones theme song and the Westworld theme song.
That's awesome.
Maybe he did it himself. It's always
maybe.
fun.
People are stupid talented, and it pisses me off.
Just wait till you learn how to model.
Just wait. It's not going to help that much.
People are stupid talented, and it pisses me off, says David Aria.
Says David. Whatever.
Okay.
BMO is short for Be More.
Okay, then lastly, we have a whole bunch of things related to Samai, which I know how to say it correctly now because
now
it's
you know how to say it.
Oh my.
Oh my. Well, the funny thing is, if you say his full name, so I was talking to Ryan and Mark as we were coming back from Motion Plus Design, and I was like, so my son did this and that, and so my son did this, and they thought I was saying, my son
did this.
So my son did this. I'm like, no, it's so my son. So yeah, that was a funny. Like
great
confusion thing that happened. But yeah, so he's got a couple great presentations from Motion Plus Design, and I would check out their whole channel. Not many people know this Vimeo channel exists, but they put all of their presentations up after the fact, and all of them are really, really inspiring. So check those out for sure.
Okay. And then you had a link to Oppo Reno.
Yeah, I guess I haven't listened to last week's podcast, but it was amazing. Like the transitions, just all of it makes me want to quit, considering he did it, solo. But yeah, and then what was I gonna say? I love the moment where the camera whips up and then that transitions into this like crazy Zolly shot where we're flying into the where the building is distorting.
Yeah.
Like that, it's just so cool.
Yeah.
And then there's just some really clever transitions, like where you like come down to the car and then that elongates, and then the moment where the city unfolds around the corner. I just don't even know how the hell you'd even do that. Like there's some things in there where I'm just like completely stumped as to how you would even go about doing that.
A breakdown would be nice.
It would. Yeah.
We're
you guys got to get them back.
Yeah, well, we're gonna start doing breakdowns on Mograph.com now too. So that'd be it, man. It would be fun to get you on talking about that music video that you did.
I know.
Even
I should do that.
Like Schmoopy could come on too.
That's true. We could have a joint thing going on,
dude.
I'm still not sure if I'm presenting for SIGGRAPH or not. If I am, then I would need to like
hold off on that. Yeah.
Hold off, but I don't know. I'll let you guys know. Also, here's this last one. I don't know if I sent this to you guys, but this is another by Somai Son's team, but he didn't actually work on it. It was created by Rimble Lin and Xiaolin Zhang. So this one was like super inspiring to me when we were doing Intel stuff. I showed you guys this, right?
No, but I can kind of see I can see the things you're talking about, since I've seen the actual. Yeah. So what?
But they do so much.
Why is it director's cut? Just because it's a longer, like the shots that they
probably because it's better than whatever the client wanted.
The stuff the client cuts that you really love and don't want to cut.
Exactly. Yeah, I think it's important to do director's cuts of everything that you do.
Yeah. Yeah, that's really cool.
Yeah. All right,
Wow,
that's
a
all
lot
my
of
links. Yeah, dude.
Jinx. All right.
You got any? You got any links?
Just the ones I had at the beginning, and that was it, man. And the ones
Cool.
I did earlier in the show, because those were on my links too. But I went up and preempted myself. So let's, and this is a great time because Matt has stepped away for a second. Let's start doing some Beeple's People.
All right, that's what I was hoping for.
Yeah. And we're gonna get out of here. We do have one email question after that I think is good for all of us here on the show as well. But I did not have my Beeple viewer of choice brought up. I am pulling it up now. I like to use Twitter to view my Beeples.
Oh my god, I just looked at his past 2 renders, and
oh my gosh,
he's been doing so much with like Pooh being like evil. Yeah.
Like Disney characters and such. All right, we're gonna start with April 23rd, Year of our Lord 2019. This is called Uncharted Ground. We'll start out with this one before we go to the like extreme crazy ones. I love the composition of this. I love whatever this thing is in the middle, like with the egg thingies on it. Or
yeah, dude.
Rock egg thingies? I don't even know.
I don't know how you would like. That's cool. Maybe it's like a David Brodeur technique to get those extrusions. It must be kind of like that.
Well,
because
you don't think that this
you
is
wouldn't
just a bunch
clone.
of objects?
Could be. I don't think it's hand placed. I think like it could. It looks to me more like you create some topology and then bevel everything in some way and extrude it. Or maybe it's I don't know. I mean, it could be that you clone a bunch of things on there and then use the push apart effector, but it all looks welded together, like it's kind of seamless geometry, rather than like individual objects on something.
Well, it could be the volume builder.
Could be. Yeah,
but also,
that's true.
These things kind of have flatness to them. It's possible that they could be box modeled and then just smoothed.
Yeah, just like extrude a bunch of like shapes and use a subdivision surface.
We're already on to Beeple's People?
We are. You missed it.
We didn't miss Michael Jackson, did we?
No.
We didn't miss Michael Jackson. No, this is the first one. Yeah, you don't want to miss that. So.
Cool.
What else? You got the mushrooms. You got the person. Now, we haven't really been with the story much lately because...
Nope.
We can't.
I think he knew about the story and he started deviating.
Well,
from
there's
it.
things we can't do with the story when we're there to watch him do the dailies.
Right.
Or can't
Right,
Mograph.
right.
Can't analyze a can't Mograph picture.
Right.
True.
So
there's just some stuff that's not going to be canon.
Right.
What's interesting about this is the guy almost looks like he's wearing a more of scuba gear than anything, and I like it because it's kind of a more retro looking spacesuit or something in a way.
I like the color decisions on this one, like the simple dual tone, like just going with red and cyan, and that's it.
Yeah.
It's nice.
I wonder if the sun is a sphere or a disc.
Do we really care?
I mean, the flat earthers are going to care, but
right.
Totally. And then the plants are pretty cool. I'm guessing that's grass, just standard, just grass on the bottom, but
the one thing watching people at NAB really convinced me I need to do is get all of my 3D assets into the content browser.
Right.
Yeah.
That was like one of the biggest things. Yeah.
That's hard to do, man, when you have stuff all over the place, so you're unsyncing stuff because you don't have room on your computer.
I've got it pretty well organized. Like all 3 of my computers have all the same stuff on Dropbox. Like my mega assets library is pretty set. It's just a matter of getting those links into. Now, when you pull it into the content browser, does it duplicate those assets or does it just link to them? Do you know?
Well, I think a lot of people move them into specific folders in there. But I think you could, you can use the content browser to like look at just regular folders.
Right. So that's what I'm trying to say is like, I just need to move the links to those folders into the content browser. Cause I think that's what's so genius about what he's doing is like the content browser is really good for viewing at a glance what assets you have to play with and what they look like,
I wonder if you could link to, I wonder if you could link to shortcuts, Like if you could do a folder and it shortcuts to a whole bunch of other things, if it would pick all that up correctly.
Right. It would be really nice if the content browser could just take the master folder and look through and find all of the C40 or FBX assets and just populate those as images. Like that's what we really, that would be really helpful.
Elbow, nudge, nudge.
Elbow. Yeah.
Yeah. All right, let's go to the next one. This is going to be April 24th. This is called Michael Jackson AI Host Womb. And this is the best.
I love this one.
This is the absolute
so messed up. Everyone's
best.
like, why would you make this? What have you done?
Why wouldn't you make this?
This is Michael Jackson's dream, to have a young child inside
A young child.
him.
Oh, dear.
Feeding off of his breast.
It's usually the other way around.
Oh, man.
But,
oh, that's messed up.
There's a... Sorry.
That's okay.
God, I mean, it was just... It was too easy.
It was too easy.
There's an animated version of this, of course. I'm playing it right now. Oh my gosh. Like, the baby inside, and the fact that the like things are coming off of his nipples.
I know. I love the spline dynamics. So good.
Did you see the background? Did you see what it said on the door?
No.
There's a bunch of monkeys or something in there, and it says Bubbles Relaxation Station. So you can go look and
That's
look
hilarious.
At Bubbles. Oh my gosh, this is just so great.
I never even noticed the monkeys in the background. That's awesome.
Funny, yeah.
Is that just in the animated version?
Yeah, I think
look,
so.
Because you got the other one there, and he's like got his hand on the glass. And he's just checking out the other ones.
Yeah,
dude,
that's
this
great.
is freaking awesome.
That's really good.
Yeah, see, they're not in the.
Yeah.
Yeah. Wow. And the boots. Look at the boots.
Just
so good.
Yeah.
I want a print of this. I want a canvas print of this and hang it up. like what a conversation starter.
Yeah.
I'm starting with the man in the mirror.
Oh man. I mean, I can't even come up with a story for this. Like there's like I don't even want to. It's almost like
in the future.
It's too
this is how babies are made. In the Michael Jackson incubator.
By big people's people. But this is a big baby. This is not a human.
Oh, that's true.
Oh,
yeah.
That's true.
Yeah. And what kind of baby is it going to be?
Maybe this is one of the many ways that they tried to make the big people.
Yeah, this is clearly a birthing center.
Clearly a birthing center.
And this was really the best option? I mean, really?
Yeah. They feel so mothered and at home. In these Michael Jackson wombs.
Oh,
maybe perhaps at this point in time Michael Jackson has been reanimated.
I was gonna say they've downloaded all of his personality, like pulled every video and every letter that he's ever written, all of his personality, just like that Black Mirror episode, and reanimated him with that. So he's the best mother known to man. He's like the best human caretaker. So they've got a clone army of giant Michael Jacksons. Nah, that's ignorant.
Ignorant. Blanket.
Oh my gosh.
Anything else?
I like that theory. That's a good theory.
It is good.
Thanks.
Oh my
Write
gosh.
that
the dog
down
will not stop
for the
attacking
book.
the cat.
Okay. Last one here. This is April 27th. It's called Bad Poo, which for me that's
pretty
called
amazing.
That's called a Thursday. And that's the one I wrote down, Matt.
Ah, there it is.
That was your ding.
Yeah.
It's called a Thursday.
Yeah. I mean, I don't want to preemptively write that, and then you guys see it, and then
If you knew me, you would know that I don't read the notes
never
anyway.
looks at the notes. Yeah.
I know you don't.
I don't either.
I don't know. This is
I don't know,
this
bro.
is scary.
We got them bad poos and stuff.
There's so many poos in here. And this feed now, there's a lot of poo stuff. So like I'm really milling on like what is the poo situation.
I like the reflection on the blood water.
Quote
it's
of the
very
week.
nice.
Quote of the week.
Pretty
so
beautiful.
is Pooh like evil or is he in like a pit? Is he dead? Is this
no,
like a head?
He's murdered all these people and eaten them all.
you
Clearly,
would
this
think.
is like the Pooh boss,
The poo
part
boss.
2.
I love the poo boss.
Yeah.
So
This is the Sarlacc pit of Disney.
but see, my question is, how does it end up
Or not,
with?
not
How did
Disney.
it end up with Pooh? Like, how did it end up as Pooh or a Pooh helmet or a head?
I don't know.
I mean, he's already done a bunch of like these, he did like
okay. So this
Homer.
This is the aftermath of the Apocalypse Poo, that he did at NAB. This is the bloodbath that he has created because of the Apocalypse Poo.
I got you. Apocalypse, yes.
Apocalypse. Yeah, and I love that he totally misspelled it. It's just whatever. Yeah, we're trying to tell him how to spell it correctly, and he's like, I don't care. And
You're right. There have been a lot of poos lately. There was like the Trojan poo as well.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. All right, now real quick before we're done.
Yeah.
Did you guys talk about Night Stream from April 18th?
Or
Banana Republic, April 19th.
No.
Last week. I mean, I haven't heard last week's show.
So.
Okay, so Night Stream
is
unique.
Link of the Dingus?
No, I'm saying it's a render. It's from April 18th. Just scroll down.
Oh, I'm sorry. I thought you were talking about like a name of a software or something.
No, sorry. I'm talking about his renders.
Did we talk about? Oh. You know what? I don't think we had a chance to talk about this because I don't think we did Beeple's People last week.
All right. Well,
this is great.
Let's do these two because this one he actually did a live stream.
That's right. He did, didn't he?
You can get to it on his YouTube channel or Twitch or whatever. So he shows how to make this whole thing from scratch. He does tons of kit bashing, just adding parts to this thing. It's really cool to watch. I was super stoked and hoping he would do this with all of his dailies, or maybe he could start a Patreon and make bank, by like streaming at least several of his dailies every week. He's already doing them, and we all want to learn his techniques, especially for these more complex dailies. There's a lot of stuff that, I would learn personally, and also would decrease the barrier of intimidation towards doing dailies by seeing him do this. Like, there aren't a lot of people that I would want to watch doing their dailies other than Beep,
Yeah.
What I really liked about this one that I noticed was the way that he did the glare of the lights. And it's like, it's lens flare-y, but it's also kind of like painted blur looking. I don't know how to describe it. The purple haze around the blue lights is really different and cool.
Totally. Yeah, I'm singing it too, Matt.
Is that my
and then real quick, April 19th, this is one of my favorites from recent times. Not that one.
Oh boy.
From recent times.
What's going on here? What is that? Oh, that was April 19th. Banana Republic. Oh.
Yeah, this one's just, I love the composition and lighting of this.
Yeah.
So good.
I don't think he used one of those like filters from that one, filter plugin or whatever.
I don't like it as much when it's all painterly and kind of turns to mush. Like, I like this more when you can see more.
Yeah.
The background's like that a little, but that's fine.
Yeah, totally.
Yeah.
I feel like on this one he did not. You know how there's the kit bash with the Warzone one? This doesn't look like the Warzone kit bash to me. There's this other kit bash from Evermotion that has a really, really nice destroyed city, and I can't remember the name of it, but it's one of those Evermotion packs that's like, so that's what this looks like to me, maybe.
I even like the little, I don't even know if this is on purpose, but you see the flag up here going this direction. As somebody who would be placing, and this is just my technical, non-artistic mind, as somebody who would be placing a flag, I would always have it go backwards.
Yeah.
But the wind's going to be going whatever direction,
Yeah, totally.
Yeah.
Also, compositionally, I feel like this fills in, like, there's more empty space on this side of the, like, if it went the other way, it would be overlapping with the shoulder. So I think he's definitely thinking of creating clean silhouettes in all of these things.
Exactly.
And this model has some really nice blue rim lighting, which I really dig. It just kind of accentuates little details here and there.
Oh, yeah. I just noticed that.
It hits the ground too. Like, that blue light is doing a whole lot of the work to make this really nice. And then it's contrasting with the warm yellow lighting that's in the cockpit of this monkey suit thing. Yeah. Super cool.
Man, so good.
Monkey suit.
All right. Well, I have a real quick email that I wanted to talk about. I think we could answer this really quick. This is from Mr. Witt or White. WITTE. The subject. No subject. Message body. Greetings. I have a question about Redshift, which you've already answered on the show before, I guess. Now this question is, can you use mixed architecture GPUs with Redshift the way you can with Octane?
Yes. Yes, you can.
In either renderer, when using mixed architecture, is it still possible to pool GPU RAM for increased scene size like you can? Well, yeah, with a couple of 1080s and SLI bridge. Actually, you can't do that with 1080s and SLI bridge. You're not supposed to SLI, actually. It's actually SLI is going to hinder what you're doing. But he said there isn't any way to connect a Turing card with Pascal, is there? And that would be NVIDIA Link. Would it not be NV Link?
No.
Why?
No. NV Link doesn't work like that. They're two different. You're talking about the RTX and the GTX cards,
not
right?
between cards.
Oh,
yeah, he is a Turing card with a Pascal card. No, not between cards. Okay, I see what. Yeah, and SLI doesn't do that either. The first time that it has been available actually is NVLink with an RTX card, and if it's Octane, I don't know about Redshift, but if it's Octane, it has to be 2018, which is why I have the NVLink and I haven't used it yet because I'm just about to upgrade. So in the future, I will have some updates on how that's going for me. Maybe some comments and whatnot as far as like how the implementation went. I know there's some things I have to do first. Like, again, it's one of those things where if I want to use NVLink, I have to upgrade Octane. In order to upgrade Octane, I have to upgrade my drivers. And in order to use NVLink, I have to update my Windows. So like now I've got to go update everything and hope that none of it crashes, and then hope I don't have to revert back to anything, all that kind of stuff. But I hope that answers the question. But you really have to get on RTX with NVLink if you want to have that combo, because not even SLI does that. SLI will combine the cards for other purposes like gaming and stuff, but not for Octane. So, yeah. Oh man,
we done?
Cool. I think we did it.
2 hours 45. Short show, just like we
Still
said.
Almost a 3-hour show.
We've gone beyond 3 hours before.
Yeah, I think the longest one ever is 4 hours.
Yeah.
Well,
damn.
We appreciate you coming on, man, because it's been a while.
Yeah, man.
And,
it's been too long. Thanks for having me on. It's been super fun.
It used to be.
I think we should do a podcast while we're in Denver.
Yeah, we should get EJ in there, and I like the round table podcast, like when we have like lots of people. Like maybe we could include people from the meetup, like Tom.
Yeah, that'd be fun.
Is going to be there for sure. I don't know if you guys met Tom, but he was part of kind of my crew at NAB this year.
Sean Astro might be there, right? Isn't he around? He shows up to the Colorado stuff, right?
Yeah, I don't know. There's a lot.
He did.
Denver has such a big scene. I feel like other than Chicago, it's like in LA, it's one of the biggest. Yeah. So I'm excited. Yeah, I guess we're not presenting. I don't know.
I think we're gonna talk. We're just gonna talk a little bit on something or answer some questions.
I'm not
maybe,
like what. Okay, cool. That's fine.
Yeah, that kind of thing. So, yeah, we'll have to ask him about that. But
yeah,
this has to be what, like your 30-something show of.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, at this point, we gotta have.
I've got them all on my site. I've I could literally count. Right. But I think it's well beyond 30.
And pick even one of them that's under 2 hours.
Right.
Some of them are actually short shows, but most of them are pretty long. It's true. We just love to shoot the shit.
We do.
Can I say. Yeah.
Hopefully everybody enjoys hearing us do that. But, all right.
Before we get out of here, I want to give a big shout out to our sponsors of Camp Mograph. Our sponsors, Red Giant, the makers of wonderful plugins for all your best After Effects stuff and Premiere stuff. And check them out, redgiant.com. School of Motion, we appreciate their help as well. Tons of cool learning and stuff. And of course, Maxon, who is our biggest sponsor right now. We want to give a big shout out to them, just like we do all basically every show where we just talk about their software and stuff. We love them very, very much. Yeah. So if you're interested in Camp Mograph, check it out, campmograph.com. Get tickets. Get some people together. If you need anyone if you need to find someone to bunk with, hit us up. Info at Mograph.com? Is that our email address?
That's the email for that, yeah. But do
yeah,
we have a
just hit us up. We'll give you an invite to the Slack.
Sorry, we have a Camp Mograph address for that too.
Right, it doesn't matter. Either hit us up here and we'll give you an invite to the Slack channel. You can get on the events channel and find some people to bunk with.
Yeah.
So super excited, and sign up for the newsletter for Camp Mograph. We got some new stuff to be announced here soon.
Yeah.
So
sweet. You guys are doing such a good job at the viral marketing campaign for Camp Mograph, and I'm super excited to go. I think it's going to be unique and unlike any other motion graphics event.
Yes.
In a good way.
Yes.
I'm very excited to put out some of the other wacky videos that I've got in the pipeline as well for everybody to enjoy. So
totally.
Yep. It's going to be awesome.
All right. Well, we're going to get out of here. You can rate us on iTunes, leave a review. You can also subscribe to us on your podcatcher of choice. Subscribe to us on all the other platforms too, Instagram and YouTube and all the stuff and things. And make sure that you subscribe to the new Mograph.com versions of those. If you're on the old stuff, pretty soon you're not going to get any updates anymore to anything. So make sure you do that now. Call now.
Do it now. Do it now.
Sunday. So you can sign up for our newsletter on the site as well. You can say you've been there, done that, got the t-shirt with the Mograph logo tee. See, I got to get it into my new...
That's hard. Yeah, it's like the no Mograph tee.
Yeah, no Mograph. Well, obviously.
Yeah.
And the Paul Babb limited edition.
Is it limited edition now? Well, I mean, I guess until 2020.
Yeah, because we're going to have to change it up a little bit coming up on the next election, I think. Now more than ever.
Now more than ever.
Now more than ever. Feel the Babb. All the profits from that go to Doctors Without Borders. And there's the Render Things t-shirt, hoodie, and long sleeve shirt. Those are great. Quality's great. Love me the long sleeve tees. Get you one of those. We're on Facebook, Twitter, Instagram, Periscope, of course, YouTube, and Mograph.com. Make sure you check us out. We've got things in the pipeline coming up pretty soon, like actual tutorials and classes and breakdowns and all sorts of other things. So that wraps it up. You guys ready to get out of here?
Yay!
I need some
Yes,
lunch.
I am. Yeah, same here. I'm fading.
Yeah, let's go get some lunch.
All right. Well, till next week, I'm Dave.
I'm Matt.
I'm David. Later,
Later,
yo.
yo.
Later, yo.
Yo.
I didn't say have a good one. I don't know. I think we did okay.
Yeah, I was waiting for
It's hard to
you.
do. Sorry. Got to get used to that, yo.
Yo.
All right. All right, well, let me put up all the stuff and things and the music and things, and we're going to wrap up here.
Amy says hi.
Hi, Amy. Bye, Mom.